Everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters in That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today, I welcome some special guests from way down south. We got Tom, and we got Will, we got Justin from the band Bleak Barrow. How y'all doing today?
Excellent.
Yeah, dude. Chilling, man.
All right, where y'all hailing from? Are you? I think I saw in your bio. Were you guys from deep south, somewhere in Texas?
Houston.
Houston. Yeah, man.
H-Town through and through, baby.
Town.
Astro Town, if I want to say that.
Yeah.
Support the Houston Astros.
Space City.
Or the real Texans, we should say, if we're the Houston Texans. So, yeah.
Yeah.
How you boys been recently? What's new?
Good, man. Working on music, grinding hard, dude. We're literally in the middle of creation right now. So I would say we're doing pretty good, at least for me. So
Same boat, man. Just fucking writing and grinding every day. Got to go to job, sit at work all day, think of what the next riff is going to be just so you can get home, fuck it up recording it 20 times, and then hopefully it sounds sick by the end of the day.
That's always been there, too. So, yeah.
Oh, dude. Every day, bro.
yeah.
So, I guess you guys, Bleak Barrow, I guess, how'd you guys come up with the name? Was this, I'm going to say, Will? Tom?
Thomas, that's you, Tom.
I'm a ultra kind of video game kind of guy. I do love my video games a lot. And I was like sitting there one day like, God, I just need like a cool name that sounds like kind of dark and mysterious and like has just a creepy vibe to it. And I was actually playing Skyrim and I was like, Bleak Barrow, which is like the first dungeon you enter. I was like, oh, that's so sick, So I just played around with it to try to make it as cool as possible. And I think that it kind of it became itself, and you just remove one thing and it's still just as cool. So yeah, I tossed it to the guys and they were like, oh.
Yeah.
No, instantly, dude, I was like, that's from Skyrim, isn't it? And I was, yes, and right then and there, I'm like, I like this.
Yeah, dude.
Skyrim's sick, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude.
It's a manly sport. That's what we want to say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So outside of that, I guess, how's life been in Houston? I guess, I don't know. You guys didn't get hit with any hurricanes this year, did you?
Yeah, we did. I lost power for 9 days, bro.
That was a time, man. Yeah.
Sweaty.
So we went through I guess just the one, man. I wasn't down here for the big one, 2017 or whatever, but yeah, a couple. That was in July, right? I think.
I can't remember. I blocked like all that out in the darkness. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that sucked.
I was like, I'm never gonna remember 8 days of just pure sweat and sliding around on my toilet seat because I'm moist, dude. It was awful.
Yeah, we man, that was a trip, dude. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't even stay where I'm at because the humidity and everything. Like I got asthma pretty bad. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be, but I was like, dude, I can't breathe, bro. Like, and it was hard to sleep and everything. So I had to go kind of live in hotels for half a week or so, man. And I pulled up to Thomas's house for a day, and we hung out and drenched in sweat together, for a time.
Destroyed every Coors Light we could find, we did, dude. It was brutal.
It was a time, man. So it sucked for about a week, but
yeah, you get through it. There's only one way through. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Make sure you find water and food and everything, and you're good. Some beer, hell yeah, beer always makes everything better. Keeping it cold was tough though. Keeping it cold was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm sure Justin was adding something, but all right. Actually, I was gonna say we drenched ourselves in beer too, just like with the waterfall princess. Like,
oh yeah, slow-mo video. It's just freaking yeah, dude.
Little action right there too. Actually, we put that on OnlyFans next. So.
Yeah.
Hey man, we gotta make money, don't we? We gotta make some money somehow.
Yeah.
Hey, what better way to make money by showing off that sexy body for the chicks on there too? So.
That's right.
Dude, not even 5 minutes ago, I was about to make money off these two because I was changing my shirt before we called you.
That's why I said leave the shirt off. I said leave it up. You got to be professional. So.
Don't give him.
I mean, he's got a decapitated shirt on right there too, so he's showing his respect. So.
I love Decapitated. That band is incredible. They are so sick. And I finally got to see them this year, and it was a great time. got to see some friends of mine in Legion. It was so sick. It was such a good time.
Was that then with a new singer? Because that
it looks like their vocalist that they've had for the past. I mean, since I got into him, I guess he was done, and now they got a new singer. So all the best for them. That sounds sick. Can't wait to see him again. Can't wait to hear him.
Actually, we need Sauron back. So.
Yes. Yeah. Fuck yeah, we do.
It would be nice. I don't know what he's doing recently. It just seemed like after he left after 2004's The Fury was.
Yeah.
That was the last we heard of him. So.
Yeah, straight up.
Okay. We'll talk more about your influences and everything else here in just a little bit here too. But boys, welcome to my podcast right here. And first off, good to see you all safe. So I know it was kind of a little rough there on the hurricanes and everything. So glad to have you guys here too. So
thank you for having
us. Thank you, man. Hell yeah, man. Thank you.
But
thank you.
No worries. I keep forgetting Justin's muted, so we keep jumping ahead. So, sorry, babe. All right, but anyway, welcome to my podcast right here. The way it's going to work is just going to ask you guys some questions. Let's get to know the boys behind the music, as well as who you guys are individually as well. So, are you ready?
Oh yeah, dude. Let's go.
All right. Like as first off, who's the oldest? We'll go by seniority.
Oh fuck! I just turned 30.
Yeah.
Am I the oldest?
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
I think
you're the grandpa.
I'm the baby, dude. No. I'm the baby, bro.
Oh, you just turned 27, right? Yeah, he just turned 27. November. Justin, how old are you? This is how great of friends we are. We don't know how old each other are.
I'm 27.
I was gonna say, didn't Will come over to your house and dredge and beer too?
Yeah, so. Yeah, dude. Yeah, fuck.
Hey, that's just to show how tight we are, though. We don't even need to know each other's names.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I don't even know how to pronounce your last name.
I mean, with Justin with the facial hair, it makes him look older, so I thought he could get away with it.
There you go. The years haven't been good to me. What can I say? Not 27, but that makes Thomas the oldest. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. I will say, Justin didn't have to worry about getting carded going into those bars. So
nice.
But nonetheless, here, Tom, you can go first, and then we'll go Will, and then Justin, you can finish it off. So, Tom, tell us your backstory. What role do you play in the band, and how did you become a musician?
I became a musician, of course, every kid gets a guitar or a bass or something when they're a kid, and I just stuck with it for a long time. I would skip school to go to the guitar store down the street from my house. And one day I skipped school to go to the guitar store, and my mom walked in to buy me a guitar, and she was like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro?" And I was like, "Ah!" So, I got in trouble, but she ultimately bought the guitar that I was playing. And she was like, "You're going to go to lessons every Sunday for the next 3 months." And I was like, okay. So I don't know, kind of that's what started the adventure of the riff, bro. So, that was probably when I was 12, 13 or something like that. So I started getting to the local scene. I'm from Colorado. I was growing up with bands like Legion, Poolside at the Flamingo, the metal band Crow, all kinds of old school homies. And it kind of just kept going, man. I played in some bands. I toured with some Denver bands, and kind of throughout my path of life, I ended up in Houston, and I just wasn't doing anything musically. So I hopped into, whatever forums and internet places that I could find with musicians. That's really how I found these two. So it was like, "Hey, what's up, dude? I'm not creepy, I swear, but you riff hard. I try to." So, me and Will met, and we started playing guitar together. We started jamming with some people. And then kind of when how things turned out, we got Justin, and it was just kind of us three for a while. And so I was like, "You know what, dude, we need a bass player." I also play bass like a motherfucker. I love playing bass a little bit more than guitar. So I was like, I'll play bass in the band. So that's what I do right now. But I've worked on a lot of the guitar tracks with Will, because Will is an insanely good guitar player. And so I try to write as best as I can to really kind of throw him some heavy kind of stuff for him to flourish on guitar with. So it kind of just works hand in hand, and it's a pretty nice little combination. I love hanging out with these guys.
I would say you got the glasses, so I think people would assume you were smart. So
I wouldn't say that, dude. I would say I'm kind of charming and definitely Zazzler.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
super attractive too.
Oh, thanks, Pete.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get the whistle in there too.
Oh yeah.
All right. I might dive in more into the band afterwards or two, but let's hear Will's story.
Yeah, dude. So it's funny, Thomas, that you mentioned the guitar store thing and kind of skipping school for playing guitar and whatnot. So, I mean, long story short, I wasn't playing sports or anything like extra curricular, I guess, during school. I was about 8 years old, I think, and I was getting probably restless and kind of stir crazy, whatnot. You know, I was a crazy kid, and my parents were like, "You need to be doing something," basically. And my grandpa, who was my hero, he had given me a guitar. Actually, I have a tattoo of it here. It's supposed to be a black Les Paul, but this is supposed to be my first guitar. And he had given that to me a little while ago. And long story short, I started taking guitar lessons just because it was something to do, you know. And I mean, for me, like, humbly, it was pretty easy to grasp. I just felt like I understood it immediately. And I mean, I remember playing, like, I still remember my first lesson, and I remember coming home learning like an E chord and an A chord. And there's some Green Day song from then that it was just like two chords, and my guitar teacher showed me that, and I came back home and I literally played slowly, kind of sloppily, you know, but I literally played it like damn near note for note. My dad was like, "Oh, you know, like he's a natural at it," you know. So I kind of stuck with it from there. But on to what Thomas said, I started falling in love with bands and everything. I loved concerts. So it just kind of naturally happened, dude. I never really had like a moment to where it was like, I'm gonna play music, you know. It just kind of stuck with me, you know, and it felt very natural to play guitar and just, you know, use that as like a extension of me, if you will. And but not to jump around too much, but like what Thomas said with like skipping school to play guitar and stuff, I would literally pretend to be sick so I could stay home and freaking noodle on my practice amp, you know, when I was, you know, 13, 14. So but yeah, man, that's pretty much how it started for me. It's not necessarily the most interesting story or whatever, but it just kind of stuck with me. It's like it was meant to be, like that was kind of presented to me, and that's what I was supposed to do, you know. So I mean, fast forward, I'm 20, 21 or whatever, going to college for music and all that stuff, you know, and then years later after that, just like Thomas said, I came down to Texas, and one of us had hit each other up, you know, and I was like, dude, like these are some really, really tight pieces of music that are going on, you know, so the rest is kind of history, you know. So yeah, dude, that's pretty much it for me, man.
The parents caught you playing hooky, so.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I don't know if I ever got caught when I was.
I never got caught.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever got caught. I mean, I would like be sick, you know, but then kind of drag it out and like, I need another day, and then I'd be up at 10, you know, quietly trying to play my guitar. So.
I want to say it was either Pulling Teeth, because I know that one was, in terms of the song you were playing from Green Day, that was like two chords or something good.
Yeah, it was one of those, man, because Dookie was the first album I ever got. It was from that one, or it might have been on like American Idiot or something. But it was just like an A and an E chord or something like that. So yeah, dude.
Well, we know you are doing Good Riddance, so I mean.
yeah. Thank God, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it ties in with influences here, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's get Justin's story.
Yeah, my story is pretty much more or less kind of the same as Will's, as far as never having really intention on doing this. I guess the only word I could find is professionally. Like, I don't know. It's just extreme music I've always kind of clinged towards that, especially at a young age. Like I remember like being in fifth grade, listening to like Linkin Park and Disturbed and Slipknot, thinking like I was the baddest dude around. And like I don't know, like it seemed like the more my parents like hated it, the more I liked it, and I started like finding these little pamphlets and this I don't know if you guys remember, but if you would go to Walmart, they would have like the CDs of like album covers, and on the back they would have like the little lyric page that you could tear off and read. I would like, I wouldn't steal those because they were free, I think, but you know, I would start like taking them, and like whenever I was like, I'd get home from school or something, my parents were still out, I would like play my favorite Disturbed song or my favorite System of a Down song, and I would try to sing along to the lyrics. But it sounded like someone was murdering like your neighbor's cat. It was just, you know, it was horrible, and my throat would be so sore. You know, by the time my parents would come home, my throat was all raspy and stuff. And I just like I never, like, every time I sang, I was like, I'm never gonna master this. I'm just screwing around, you know. And fast forward a few years, I was in the military, and my buddy was like, I thought I was in the metal, but my buddy was like super into metal. And you know, at the time, like, I thought like the most hardcore band was, you know, like Slipknot, you know, just like the super standard like new metal-y type stuff. I didn't really think it got much more to that. I thought anything past that was just kind of garbage noise, you know. And then my buddy showed me Whitechapel, you know, and that was like my footstep into kind of like that old school deathcore, that super vocal heavy style of music. You know, I mean, these guys are doing insane things. It's no longer just yelling at this point. It is now like using your vocal cords as like just the most extreme instrument, you know, and that really just, that sort of ignited something in me that just kind of like, okay, you know what? Now I'm no longer just kind of screwing around in the bathroom singing. Like, maybe if I could just find a way to like hone my voice to where it won't screw up, then maybe, you know, I could at least start actually singing along to the songs that I liked. Because at the time that was just my main goal. I just want to be able to sing along to the songs I like without, you know, making my voice bleed. So fast forward years later, I think it was pretty recently, 2022. 2022, I was in my truck, and I was coming back home from the gym, and I was listening to "Runes to My Memory" by Amon Amarth. That song came up just on my shuffle, right? See, you already know.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the vocal technique he was doing. My brain just somehow clicked with it, and I was able to like somewhat sing along. And by the end of the song, I'm like, wait a minute, it doesn't feel like I've been screaming for 3 days straight. Like, I kind of got the hang of that a little bit. So I really started like going over and over and over again. And my buddy Nathan, who's actually the vocalist to Vox Nostra, another local Houston band, he actually started giving me, you know, breathing pointers, like vocal techniques, all that stuff. And sure enough, I was able to make what, if you would have asked me now, is I think my worst vocal cover ever, but it was my first vocal cover ever of Second Death by Black Tongue. And I don't know, like, people, it's just like, it's people start getting their attention towards it. They're saying like it sounds really good, and I'm just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, all right, I know you're just saying that to make me feel better, but you know, thank you, I appreciate that. But I don't know, it started kind of pushing me a little bit further to start, you know, looking up like breathing tutorials. You know, I started going on Kardashev Academy. That's another great website. But just kind of really finding my voice, you know, and finding my limits and how I can go past those limits without breaking something. And my my cover videos just, in my opinion, start getting better and better, at least in terms of like breathing. And that's when I was introduced to a mutual person in the metal scene that also knew Thomas and Will. We all came together, and here we are now. So it's incredible. Like, you would have told me last year, you know, we would have been releasing a song. I would not believe you, but here we are. So I'm stoked.
I mean, one of those funny ones be like, ah, you're full of shit.
I made it for 75 cents today. So, you know, we're partying. We're partying a little bit.
Yeah.
No big there. Actually, we were saying Disturbed earlier. I was picturing him like trying to sing that like middle part before it jumps into like the final chorus there from Down with the Sickness.
Oh, yeah.
Dolphy always yelling at his mother right there too. Leave that shit, you
I
stupid
immediately
sadistic
knew the
abusive
part.
fucking whore or something.
Yeah. I immediately knew the part you were talking about.
Actually, funny enough, in Rock Band, they actually kind of muted it out. It was just inaudible, to be honest, because that's actually how I got into drumming. So,
Nice.
Really? Oh wow.
yeah, I mess around with some metal, and I do know about Amon Amarth. Actually, I will say this: Raven's Flight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
that's badass. Hell yeah, man.
That's a good one.
But funny enough, let's see, which one was the Odin with Odin on our side? That's right. It was off of that album with Runes to My Memory. So yeah,
Yep.
that one. I
Yeah.
would say. And then I think going back to Justin right here, when he found Whitechapel, he was like, "Sweet Mary, Mother of God, jackpot!" So yeah,
Yeah.
Whitechapel,
No,
This
that
is
was-
Exile was my first deathcore death metal album. And
Yeah.
I remember I bought it with my dad took me to a record store, and I was like, I found it, because my buddy showed him on like on demand music videos that they provided. And my buddy, when I was a kid, we just got done like skateboarding. He's like, dude, you gotta check out these riffs, bro. And my dad took me, and my dad's like conservative, like really kind of like does that whole thing. And I love him. Sweetest guy in the world. He just watched me become this like deathcore fiend. I was like, it was hilarious, man. I love that album. I love Whitechapel to death.
actually, it was like the heavenly lights just shine down on the Exile album.
Yeah, dude. I was
Yeah.
like, it was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Somebody got the feeling he came in the room afterwards and was trying to hit you with holy water afterwards. So,
Oh no, he put it on in the truck when we were driving back. He's like, "All right, let's take a listen." And I was like, "Oh," and he was like, "Okay." I was like, "You're your dad. You're the best, bro."
Yeah.
He had no idea what they were saying, and I was like reading the lyric books, like, "Oh,
oh no,
Brewskis, dude. Oh, so gnarly. It was so funny, dude." Yeah.
apparently talk about eating shit and then be like,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
mouth
dude.
and just what you are.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way that was going. I was like, hell yeah, like 14, like
So cringe. So cringe.
Yeah, yeah, dude.
ultimate edge. The ultimate edginess.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was harder than everybody in America, bro. I was like,
Yeah.
I like Whitechapel and Dying Fetus.
Yeah.
But,
Raid.
that was-
Dude, raid the shelves at FYE, man.
yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
FYE actually.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
I forgot that was the thing.
Oh yeah. That's right, bro.
Somehow I get the feeling secretly your dad was like, Tom, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Kind of. He started off showing me like I started off earlier. It's like Jimi Hendrix, Robin Trower, REO Speedwagon. Like that was like me like growing up, and then it just kind of. And then my mom bought me the guitar. My parents were split up, so my mom bought me the guitar, and I took it with me like every trip that I went to go see my dad. So he kind of caught on that like that was the kind of life that I was heading into, because like I cared about it a lot. And like I was always buying guitar stuff. I started in bands like at like I think my first show was when I was like 14 in Fort Collins, Colorado, and it was a long kind of process, but yeah, dude, I mean that's ultimately how that shit really starts, I guess, for most people. You just get playing, you're like, this is the shit, this makes me feel good. This is all I want to do every day. Fuck school. School's for fucking nerds. I'm going to fucking riff and make friends with people who make bad decisions. Here I go. You know what I mean? And then it's off to the races. And then, and then you're 30 and you live in Houston, Texas, and find other degenerates to make music with. And life is good.
Yeah, man.
I would say stay at school, but other than that,
Oh,
I would say you want to at least have friends with people who are the nicest people in the world, but for some reason they talk about dark fantasy, murder, and
Yeah.
some grotesque sort of scenery going on right there.
Yeah. You hear those things and you're like, wow, you're a great guy. Like, you like decapitations and stuff? Like, whoa, you're cool. You know what I mean?
It's something like that too. Actually, it's not like they're screaming that sort of lyrics in terms of like Corpse Grinder or even like Yo and Heg from Amon Amarth. And then you see like Corpse Grinder like giving toys away for a good cause.
Yeah.
It was a good cause. And then you also see
right
Yo
now,
and Heg
Corpse
just like
Grinder
doing
is
figure eights.
crazy.
So yeah.
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 So metal people. We're the nicest people in the world you ever meet. So
absolutely.
That's right, dude.
Absolutely.
don't force us into therapy, people. So there's nothing wrong with us. So, yeah. But actually, considering all the stories here, it seems like Tom and Will, you guys were native to Texas. Is Justin the only one who's lived in and around Texas his whole life?
I think so.
Justin, did
I
you
mean, yeah. So I kind of moved around a lot. Like I never really stayed in a house for more than a year. I did live mostly in and around Houston, but I also moved up to Oklahoma, then Florida, then I lived in California for a little bit, and now I'm back here again. So I always seem to find my way back home, I guess. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm native Houstonian through and through. So.
Houstonian. All right, I can deal with that. All right. So, all right. So you already told us about the band name for Bleak Barrow being Skyrim related. So, I guess what's more of the history behind it here too? Because it seems like Justin kind of eventually found Will and Tom here. So, who wants to give more of the history lesson for the audience?
Thomas, I'd say you might want to take that one, dude. I guess I could add a little bit to that. We actually had a conversation not too long ago about kind of what that means to us and everything. So the little bit that I can chime in on that for now is it might sound a little, cliche and cheesy, but it's just think of what a barrow is. Not a wheelbarrow, but it's essentially for us, it's just kind of like a culmination of all of our different personalities and interests, and it's whatever that is to somebody. So if that's some physical place that you can go to, or if it's a headspace or something, we talked about that a little bit, and so that's kind of my 2 cents. I think Thomas, you could probably echo a little bit more on that for kind of what the whole name means and stands for and everything.
Well, so my original thought of kind of when Bleak Barrow came into mind, I tried to think of like, a setting, so to say. Like I love stories, books, and kind of putting myself in a different place because, I've done it since I was a kid to kind of cope with things. I love science fiction, of course, video games a whole lot. So it's like, well, if we're going to take this and use Bleak Barrow as kind of an idea, taking the words bleak and barrow, you have a underground ritual or burial site where the dead go to rest and stuff. And so that part sounded super metal to me, and I was like, perfect. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, that sounds metal as fuck. And then you put bleak in front of it, and that makes me feel like, the setting has colors. There's rafters of olden wood. There's dead bodies like placed perfectly all the same. And I really wanted to and kind of embody that into sick riffs. You know what I mean? I play a lot of Bloodborne, Elden Ring, Skyrim, RPGs that are just, you're in a really sketchy situation where some fucked up shit happened. So I wanted to translate that kind of in the spirit and setting of the riffs, and Will's an emotional player. I'm an emotional player, so that it kind of conjoins in this sweet death fucking awesome love baby of fast riffs that we enjoy. You're gonna hear some melody. There's gonna be some heavier stuffs, maybe some sorts of breakdowns and everything. It's just it's becoming something that I just wanted it to necessarily just become kind of vast. You know what I mean? And that's something that we're still necessarily figuring out. Inviscerate came out, and I remember I wrote that song probably 2 years ago, right after when I first got to Houston. And I remember I had barely any furniture in my house that I bought, and all I had was my amp set up, and I didn't have a kitchen table. I didn't even have a couch, bro. So I was like, oh man, I gotta make this feel good somehow. So I just try to write the gnarliest shit that I could ever I could just come up with. And it took some time, and we rewrote some things, and then I met Will and we started jamming it, and it became a different thing, another thing. And so it really kind of took that initial idea of, mending things for it to become vast and, maybe tell a story or create a setting it takes you away from the shit that you have going on in life, which is, you know, really the main thing that I love about death metal and heavy metal, just as like a whole thing. Because it like, I'm a very nice person, and I try to be as pleasant and forthgiving to as many people as I can. But I'm pissed off as shit all the time, you know. So I like having this kind of release and getting to write this music with these guys is really just that focus. And so it's awesome. And I think that it really kind of is growing into something awesome and beautiful. And we get to create that space away from everything, you know, and it just is going to be the Bleak Barrow, you know, maybe that's just what it is. And that's the most exciting part, because it's turning out to be something really awesome.
Let's say, whenever he gets in his zone, he does this. Okay, now I'm pissed. So yeah. Fortunately for Tom, he turned into the Incredible Hulk. So
yeah, seriously.
yeah, that's cool. So I guess, what do you guys?
Pay me green. I'm ready to go.
I don't know. It was something like that. But actually, I was going to talk about Eviscerate here too, because you guys only released one song, right?
Mm.
So I guess
right now, yeah.
I mean, I know about eviscerate, which they kind of course, for teaching me that word. So
yeah, visceration plague, dude.
Yep. So inviscerate, I guess. First off, what's the word even mean? Because I thought eviscerate was like something with the organs. So
yeah.
Well, so it's actually kind of funny when this was a month ago when we were still kind of trying on working on the appropriate title, because you know, as I'm sure with every other artist, like we want our songs to kind of somewhat tell a bit of a story, you know, and the song we kind of had like this, it was like the theme of like Vladislav the Impaler, you know, just kind of like a really fucking pissed off dude. And like when I was writing the lyrics, I was thinking like, you know, how mad do you got to be to like put someone on a stick and then just do that forever, you know? And so we were like, you know, Impaler's a cool name, but it sounds kind of cheesy. And we're like, oh, you know, let's put in eviscerate. And like, I can't spell, so I typed it inviscerate. And Will was like, hey, wait a minute. He's like, that's not how it's spelled. And I'm like, no, that's how it's spelled. And we Googled it, and sure enough, we're like, no. He's like, look, this is how it's spelled. I'm like, well, you know, fuck it, let's keep it. You know, it's unique. Screw it. So it just kind of stuck. And you know, every title we sent, I think we all had like the intention on changing it eventually. Like but like every title we sent each other when we were like making updates, or was Will or Thomas was doing something different, we would just keep it the same way. And so we're like, fuck it, eviscerate.
Yeah. Bunch of meanings going on there.
well, I mean, when you're including Vald or Vlad the Impaler, I mean, you know, it's so metal, man. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
actually,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's got a very kind of gothic vibe to it, if you will. Very kind of, there's almost like a hint of like an odd, dare I say, like almost like romantic sound to it. It's a very like kind of gothic sounding, almost like, you know, Victorian-esque, at least for me, kind of it just gives you kind of a vibe of like some type of ancient story or something, you know, to put it very simply. But yeah, it's a cool tune, man. Yeah.
I was definitely playing Bloodborne when I wrote that song. 100%. I want to throw that out there. I was like, oh, I'm a hunter. The old blood. I was like, oh yeah, dude. So yeah, that's definitely where it was at.
Yeah.
the old blood.
Yeah.
Yes,
The only way Thomas can write music is he has to play Bloodborne, and that's how the riffs come about. So I'm just kidding.
Dude, no, I can't tell you how many, like, one of my scratch tracks has to do with like a character from like Elden Ring, or like a small little tidbit from the lore of Bloodborne, or like if I ever got good at Sekiro, those will probably come up into the fold sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually not played Elden Ring yet, but I've at least got the hang of like how Bloodborne was all played and everything. So
top tier, brother. Oh, it is. I was thinking about it today. I was like, I wish I could just like go back in time to when I like first played Elden Ring, and like I was remembering like how I felt during those moments of like, oh, I finally beat this one dude. Like, yes. 'Cause I'm playing Call of Duty right now with my friends, and like new Black Ops 6 came out, and I'm unfortunately I somehow got pretty good at it, and like I've already prestiged twice, and I've owned the game for like 2 weeks. I'm like, God, it's just the same thing, man, you know? But that's when I'm like, okay, I need to put this down and go write music because I need to be productive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the work unproductive and all.
Yeah, dude.
So I could see why. So this band was formed after COVID, right?
Yes, sir.
I guess so.
Yeah.
What were you guys doing before COVID, and then how did COVID impact you guys personally? And Tom, you could start.
I was living in Colorado. I worked at a pretty poppin' restaurant in like the downtown area of my hometown. And like I went into work one day and he was like, no. And I was like, am I fired? He's like, no, COVID, dude. And I was like, I don't even know what COVID is. And so I got sent home for about, I think it was like 8 months, dude. Like Colorado like shut down. But I was just hanging out, kind of just sitting at home. I honestly didn't do much except I played a lot of video games and I just kind of played a bunch of guitar and a bunch of bass. And it kind of fueled me into this kind of unhealthy lifestyle because the only thing I did was like drink the entire time. And so that's ultimately why I left Colorado. And right at the end of COVID, kind of for me was like April, or it was like January 2021. Or yeah, it was like somewhere in there. And then I left Colorado. I got my act cleaned up pretty good. And I got my job. I worked for Lucid Motors. And then through my job, I actually ended up coming out here. So I don't know. I don't really feel like it took too much of an impact on my life because I really just stayed home and like took care of the house while my roommates all kind of went and did stuff. And yeah, I mean, that was really it. I was like Thomas' wife, and I was just like doing everybody's laundry and like cooking all the food and just like hanging out, you know. It went by fast. Like, do you guys remember April of 2020? Because I don't. It was just as simple as that. I just did nothing except get fucked up and not be a good person. So yeah, that's pretty much COVID's like why I left Colorado to like go adventure out into the world, and that's pretty much how I got here. And so, you know, just kind of was a turning point in sense. But yeah, that was it.
Went out to the world to find his purpose in life. So
yeah, really, dude. I was like, I'm doing nothing here. This is like Colorado's beautiful. I lived in I moved from my one house to downtown Denver, and I was like, God, this is unhealthy for me. So I was like, I'm out, dudes. I love you guys. I've been here 22 years, man. Like, I'm out. And yeah, followed the road, the fucking down to Texas. Got here eventually, but I'm very glad that I did. Texas has been really good for me. I own a house with my fiance. We're getting married this year. We got some dogs. You know, I drive a truck. I got a motorcycle. Thanks, bro. Yeah, dude, life's just back up on that train. And right now, you know, I've got all that kind of solidified on that side of things. So I'm trying to make this happen. And I think I got two of the best dudes that I could find to do it with. And, you know, the drive is just 100% there. And we're just trying to get ready to get show ready. We got hella new music to come out. And dude, it's just sick riffs that are just like, it's like a box, like vibrating, like, you know, and then it opens, a new single, you know, or something like that, you know. Yeah, dude, it's been pretty crazy since COVID. Yeah.
well, we could ditch the OnlyFans page at that point. So
yeah, dude, I was almost like, I have nice feet. I'm convinced I have nice feet. No, I got psoriasis, dog. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna say, is this a Quentin Tarantino film now or what? So
Nice.
all right. Will, what's your story?
Yeah, dude. So unlike Thomas, I actually do remember April of 2020. Yeah, dude. So it's a funny story about all that. So I was still in college, directly, and when I say directly, I mean literally in the center of Hollywood, which for me is, I'm from Kansas, so it's a complete 180. It is, to put it simply, it is crazy out there, dude. Like it's not that bad, but for me, just that whole atmosphere was already nuts, anyways. And where I was living at with my roommate at the time, who I was going to school with, we both caught a cold, and it wasn't bad. I just could not get rid of this freaking cough, dude. And it was like 2 weeks, man. This was in March of 2020, and it just wouldn't go away. I was just tired all the time. I had to walk about 15, 20 minutes down Hollywood Boulevard every day amongst all the people, all the noise. And then, I kicked on the TV, and you started seeing all the news and everything. There's a virus going around or something like that. So I had got tested for that, and it wasn't like, it didn't tell me anything at first, but then I found out. I was like, oh, like almost everybody in my main class is sick right now, and there's people not there. They're like, I'm like, what are your symptoms, blah blah blah, and everybody was saying the same thing. So long story short, I'm like, yeah, we all got it, so I got it immediately. For me, it wasn't bad at all. It just, I had a really bad cough, I was super tired, but then that's when the shit hit the fan after that. I had just gotten better. We're feeling better, everything. Then it's like, oh, our school's closed. All the stores are closed. There's a line down the street that's longer than any line of people I've ever seen to go to the grocery store just to buy freaking toilet paper and water. And I'm like, what the hell is going on, dude? Literally. So basically, I went home to visit family and everything. And then you start hearing more of the news and everything, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. They were saying that in around Skid Row or something, that like something equivalent to the Black Plague had resurfaced and all that. And I didn't know if that was what it was. We didn't really know what was going on, So I had stayed home because I'm like, well, like I don't want to go back there right now. It's crazy, dude. So it was interesting. I was back and forth between Hollywood and Kansas for I don't know, 3 months or so. And after that, basically what happened is my school closed down completely. Was not allowing anybody in. We had all of our music gear there and stuff, and you had to raise hell with them just to, I give them benefit of the doubt because that early on, not a lot of people knew what was happening, so I can kind of understand where they're coming from there, but that's, your whole livelihood is in the school. It's a music school, so all the drum gear, all the guitars, everything. And I remember like vividly walking down the street and there's like nobody there. It's like one or two, where it's like hopping right in the middle. There's nobody there, dude. And like buildings and businesses are like boarded up and shit, dude. It looks like the purge, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be here, dude. I was like, I'm out, So, yeah. And very soon after that, my roommate at the time, we were like, he's like, I got, family, people, whoever in Texas, I knew there was a really awesome scene musically down in Texas. So we drove all the way down there, and it was literally an escape. Literally, that's what it felt like. So I guess the impact of everything being closed down and people not having jobs and all that was definitely worse for me than actually getting the virus itself. But yeah, so in a way that played a massive part for me. That's essentially kind of the reason that I came down to Texas, because I was like, well, hey man, I got to find the next best scene, if this ain't working out. So but yeah, man, it's all good. So
Did you actually go to the Hollywood, or is there another Hollywood somewhere in the world?
no, the Hollywood, dude. I was right there, man. Yeah.
Oh man, that's something right there. Actually, I got the feel you're telling your roommate be like, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought that all the time, man. Yeah, it's an interesting place, man. It's definitely not Kansas for sure.
That's for sure. All right, Justin, what was your story during COVID?
So luckily, I wasn't living too far from Will. And around 2019, I was actually living in Oceanside, which is about 2 hours from LA, but I was working in construction. So all my work was in LA. And, obviously California was expensive. Wasn't making enough to afford rent, even with the roommate. And my uncle called. He's like, "Hey, like, do you want to come, work at my company?" And I was like, "Well, what do you do?" He's like, "Well, you just drive around the country and you inspect oil and gas pipelines." I was like, "Oh, okay, that's it." He's like, "That's it," but I had to move back here, and I wasn't making enough money in California anyway. And as much as I love the state itself, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the cities. Like every time I went to LA, it was just not a good scene. I don't know. I want to get out of there. Um, but I came back, and this was around late 2019. I moved back in with my parents, and I started working for this company around January of 2020. And I remember my mom. She's super dramatic. She likes to overreact with everything, and she's seeing the news, like, oh, mystery virus, and immediately she starts freaking out. And I remember I'm like, Mom, they said the same thing about Ebola. It's not a big deal. They're not going to close anything. Relax. And because I don't know if you guys remember the Ebola outbreak, but it was the same deal. Everybody freaked out for a week, and then it went right back to normal. And so
Yep.
naturally, I thought it would be the same thing. But fortunately, with my job though, because it's like an environmental job. It seemed as what were the workers called? The essential workers.
Essential.
You're essential, babe.
I was essential. I was. But no, I drove across the entire country, like back and forth, East Coast, West Coast. I went up to Washington, everywhere in between, and there was not one car on the road the entire time. So obviously a lot of free time to just listen to audiobooks, listen to music, listen to podcasts, and just kind of like figure out like, all right, this is a new stepping stone in my life. It's an incredibly weird start to it, because 2019 was also the year I'd gotten out of the military. So this was, I guess, my first year like back kind of as a civilian, and everything being shut down. It was a very isolating year for me. It was just me. It was just me and my cat, who's here with me now. Hold on.
Yeah.
This dude right here, I take him with me traveling. His name is Dio, named after Ronnie James Dio. But no, it was just him and me on the road, and just my thoughts, And I even picked up guitar for a little bit. I spent my last $200 that I had in my bank account to buy this acoustic guitar at Guitar Center. This was before I started working this new job, and I started practicing. I started like getting the hang of it. But I'm got mad ADHD, so if I start something and I'm not a professional at it like that, I'm like, I'm never gonna learn. And I I went for about a year and a half of kind of practicing guitar, doing stuff like that before one day I just woke up and was just like, nah, I'll find something else. Yeah, pretty much. But no, 2020, I mean, other than working a lot, and a lot of soul searching, which, like Thomas as well, that was a very, very active year for, drinking and just, I don't know, like trying to figure things out through like substance abuse, which anybody will tell you that's not a good way to go. But once you start to kind of realize where that life is taking you, you start to make some changes, and I believe it brings a lot of soul searching. And even today, like I'm still learning. Sometimes you kind of got to be in that hole to learn what you need to dig yourself out, and not everybody kind of learns that, and a lot of people think they learn it, but they're still deeper in that hole. And it's just,
Yeah.
I feel like if it wasn't for 2020 being as insane as it was, like I don't know where I would be right now, but I know it wouldn't be here. And right now, I can say honestly, I'm happy. I mean, talking with you guys, it's a good time. I wish I was home right now. I'm currently on a job. That's why I'm in this little B&B, but it's I can't complain.
That's good to hear. I guess what'd you do in the armed forces? I guess were you infantry?
So, yes, sir. I was a 0311 in the Marine Corps, so rifleman. I'm saying on the record right now, every Marine is not a rifleman. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, that was my job.
Thank you so much for your service there. Did you see any combat or have any sort of experience?
No, I missed the war. Unfortunately, I enlisted at 17. I tried going as soon as possible, but it just wasn't in the cards. So I saw a lot of fake combat. I got fake shot, and I had both my legs fakely blown off in training exercises. That was about as close as combat is to I got. So
Lieutenant Dan.
that's what they call me. Yeah.
Nice.
We had to drop it too. As soon as he said that too, I think, oh god, we got to drop
I
Forrest
played
Gump.
the role of everything. I did the accent. I was Lieutenant Dan for the day.
I should have died in the fields. All right. But in all seriousness, thank you so much for your service. All right. Did you guys get sick with COVID? I guess were all of you okay? I know, Will, you kind of mentioned it during your time in Hollywood there.
So I got sick 2 years later after I got the vaccine.
Yep.
That's what I was mad about.
Yep. I got COVID
guys.
after I got vaccinated, bro.
Yeah, I was like, shit, man. I made it this whole time, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was like just 3 days of just like a really bad flu, and I was actually driving back from Big Bend, which is this gorgeous national park way out in West Texas. It's about 8 hours from where I live, and I was driving back with my ex and my brother and his girlfriend, and I remember I just started feeling like why do my bones hurt right now? Like why do my bones feel so heavy? And about 3 hours into that trip, I lean over to my brother. I'm like, I think I'm dying. Like you should take the wheel. So I just spent like the next 3 days in the fetal position. But that fourth day, it was just I felt great. I mean, my muscles felt awesome just because I was so tense for 3 days. So it felt like this weight had been lifted. But other than sneezing and a really sore throat and just feeling weak, that's pretty much the worst I got of it.
I actually got it. I was kind of the same way because I know you guys said you all got vaccinated, but I was actually with my parents down in Nashville and we're bar hopping on Broadway. So even though you have a good time there too, even fist pumped the guy who was coming out the window right there, who was playing bass for this cover group, and it started with my dad, and then he passed it on to me, and I don't know how many days it was. It felt like a week actually. Yeah. I got those little Paxlovid pills that they give you to try to lessen the symptoms. So just to say it wasn't fun, but I actually tried hopping on my drum set, trying to play both throwers, no guts, no glory.
Nice.
But I couldn't do it. I could nail it any other day, but that day I just couldn't do it. I was just that fatigued, and I got a fever later that night, but I got through it. So
hell yeah.
So
yeah, man.
Gotta let the immune system catch up, expose it to danger.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Okay. But on a serious note, good to see you boys are doing well out there and kicking some ass. So good to have you along here for the ride.
Same to you, brother.
Okay.
Oh yeah, dude.
So I know you guys have been mentioning about some of your influences here too. So it took me a moment to realize the banner behind Tom there. So is that Black Dahlia Murders, the Ever Black?
Ever Black, baby.
Baby. Oh yeah. I'm a big Black Dahlia fan. Actually, that came to me through a very long journey. Actually, technically, I feel like it's not mine. It's still my friend's. But her sister gave it to me for Christmas, and it's signed by everybody, including Trevor. So I was like, and she knows I have it. She just hasn't said anything. So yeah, dude, yeah, it's up there. Like I love Black Dahlia Murder. Black Dahlia Murder has been a big thing in my life for a really long time. I've hung out with the dudes. I've partied with the dudes plenty of times. And I got the pleasure of meeting Trevor like quite a few times. I served him food at one of my restaurants. They were playing the venue next door. And like I was walking across the street, like big time burger manager guy, like, oh yeah, I got the paychecks. And I was like, looks like Black Dahlia Murder. what? That's Trevor. And I was like, oh, dude, let me get the door. And they were like, you know who we are, don't you? And I was like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And so Black Dahlia Murder's big influence of mine. I love bands like Deftones, Meshuggah. I love Tool. Oh, it's like aggressive, man. If I could just like show you my Apple Music of just like how many bands I listen to. But two of the big ones that like brought me to Texas when like I first started seeing like Texas stuff was Power Trip, of course, R.I.P. Riley Gale. I love Power Trip a lot, and Frozen Soul. Those homies slap so fucking hard. And then I got here and I started checking out all the stuff, and the bands here are super cool. Like Life Cycles from San Antonio, like those dudes fucking rip, bro. Then we got Vox Nostra, our friend Nathan's band, and the Zebellion Triangle. They're also from around here. Lately, it's been those kinds of bands that are kind of influencing kind of the drive and the power behind what we're trying to put into Bleak Barrow. So we can go play with them and like hang out, you know? It's like, yeah.
I'll try to point you to the shirt. You got decapitated on. You got to say decapitated.
Oh, dude, always, bro. I was like super sad. I had a shirt planned out, and I like had it like set aside, and it's like this super cool Mastodon long sleeve that I look like really hard in. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna wear that. And my cat took a nap on it, and so it's just orange. So I was like, oh yeah, dude, Mastodon's a big influence as well. This new one that I'm writing definitely is like if Black Dahlia Murder and Job for a Cowboy like had this awesome love baby with Mastodon, and then they all took shrooms or something. And it's like, you know, I'm trying to make it really sick. So those are kind of the thoughts and feelings that I'm going on at, dude. Yeah, but yeah, like so much like heavy metal, and it's really just really varies like everywhere. It's pretty crazy.
You know, anytime I see Black Dahlia Murder, it does make me sad that Trevor's no longer there.
Oh yeah, man. I think Brian's doing a great job though. Like Servitude is sick.
That is true, yeah. I mean, I applaud him for actually finding a new singer, but even still, it's like, man, you really wish Trevor was still alive. So.
Oh yeah. I'm excited for what they got in the future, man. I think having Ryan and Brian on guitar, or Brandon. I always forget his name. I'm sorry. That's I should always probably remember that. But yeah, dude, that is a power duo. That is a power couple that we need in this world playing guitar. And yeah, dude, I love Black Dahlia Murder.
That's for sure. All right. Will?
Dude, influences are a rabbit hole with me, man. Yeah, dude, I guess my main ones that'll never go away, man. Tool, Avenged Sevenfold was my first love, dude. When I heard those guitar solos, man, that's really what hooked me. Yeah, Tool, Avenged. I'm into a lot of really eclectic shit too, like Mr. Bungle, The Residents. Like Depeche Mode is one of my favorite bands, but then I love, you know, Grateful Dead and The Doors. So I'm kind of the dude in the group that's probably the least metal right now. But yeah, Meshuggah for sure. I guess in terms of influences for this band, I mean, I put everything into it, but for me personally, it's a lot of Dimebag Darrell influence with like just very feel oriented stuff. So that style kind of being paired up with how Thomas writes makes for some pretty unique stuff. But I love everything, man. Honestly, I know there's those people that say that, you know, but like I actually listen to literally everything. I mean, lately, right now, I'm jamming the new Devin Townsend album. I'm a huge Blackberry Smoke fan. So yeah, it's all over the place, dude. But for these guys and everybody that knows me, it's basically always going to be Tool as number one. I'm fucking obsessed with Tool, dude. Like they changed my life, man. I don't necessarily speak for all of the hardcore Tool fans. They can be a little bit tough sometimes, you know. Yeah. They're from the metaphysical planet, dude. You know, they're prophets here, you know. But I'm actually I'm from, so I'm not from the same town as Danny Carey, but we're both from Kansas, and I've always he's basically my hero, and I'm a guitar player. You know, I can play some drums and stuff, but what really, really was the most impactful, like influential moment in my life, literally musically, was discovering Tool and just what they did musically. Danny's playing basically single-handedly completely opened up my understanding of music and how free it can be while still doing, you know, something really heavy or even something soft. And again, he's a drummer, you know, like I'm not a drummer, you know, but I just immediately connected with it. And they the way that I describe that is there was just like this unknown kind of void in my brain, soul, whatever, and those guys just popped right in there. You know, I've always thought that they were one of the best examples of just a true musical band. You know, you don't have to be into the style or anything, but they get together and they jam, and that's how they write their music. You know, not a lot of musicians even have the luxury of doing that nowadays because they're far away or you know, they don't even have a jam space or anything. But a lot of those kind of just natural elements of music, just kind of on the spot, whatever you feel. That's kind of how I am with influences and everything. So it's, you know, Hendrix and Van Halen and Dimebag Darrell. Speaking of, 20 years ago today, so rest in peace, Dime. I got my Dime shirt on right now. Got him on my arm, you know. Yeah,
he is committed. So yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he's I didn't even have any idea who the hell Pantera Dimebag was when he passed away, but dude, that guy, man. Same effect as what happened to me with Tool when I first really got into Pantera. I remember hearing the Cemetery Gates solo, and I'm like, how do you play like that, dude? Like, how do you like shred so hard, but it's so melodic, but there's still so much feeling in there. The tone, everything is just completely original. So yeah, that kind of side of things musically is where I come from. I'm a very feel based guitar player. So any band that's jam band stuff, you know, I'm into all of that, you know. But then I also love Meshuggah and Cannibal Corpse and freaking Napalm Death and just the most brutal shit, you know. I just rediscovered one of my favorite bands, kind of like a slam band, but they're called Abnormity. I think they're from Russia. They are sick, dude. So stuff like that I absolutely love as well. So, but yeah, it's I could go on for hours about influences, man. You know, but yeah.
Ditto. Actually, is that Abnormality? Is that the one that did Visions?
So there's Abnormality, but this band is called Abnormity.
Abnormity.
So it's yeah. You should check them out. I'm not even sure if they're still a band or not. They have dude, they might have one album. It's green. I don't remember the name of it actually. I don't even know if it's on Spotify or anything, but they're called Abnormity. They're from Russia and they're just disgusting. Like it's so sick, dude. It's like toilet bowl, like gutturals and shit, you know, but they just slam so hard. It's got a good mix on it and everything, and they're just freaking brutal, dude. So I would say they're our pals in Slaughter to Prevail might have a run for their money on that one. You know, another band from Russia, I think. So they're sick, dude. Yeah, y'all should check them out. It's just gnarly shit. It's good, man.
Because that explains where Alex got the inspiration for his growls. So,
dude, maybe, man, maybe. So yeah, shout out to them, dude. Those guys rip, bro.
all right. And Justin.
So again, mine's pretty much the same deal as Will. I could go on for hours about my influences and inspirations and stuff like that, but so I'll try and keep mine quick and simple. So I'd say my first biggest like introduction into like an insane vocalist, like someone that just kind of caught all my attention, was Slipknot. And I remember I was playing Guitar Hero 3. My parents got it for my brother and I for Christmas, and which it's funny enough that Will's a Tool fan because my brother is also a huge Tool fan, and that's how he got introduced to Tool and Korn and all that. But I remember playing Before I Forget by Slipknot, and I'm like, dude, this is like the heaviest shit I've ever heard in my life. And my mom wouldn't let me listen to any of that music, but my friend at school, who was like the super edgy kid that would ride his skateboard to school and like light off fireworks in the parking lot, he had like he had like all the Guitar Hero songs downloaded, and one of those songs was the songs by it was Before I Forget and Psychosocial by Slipknot. And so I'd be like, hey man, can I listen to your fucking iPod Nano or whatever it was back then? And I would just listen to that all day. And the older I got, obviously the more access I had to, like computers and phones, and I started like YouTube, and it just kind of like started tumbling me down like this rabbit hole. Like one moment I was into new metal, then I was into deathcore, then I was in the death metal for a little bit, and now I'm like kind of in, I guess, my black metal era, and so all of that kind of I've always kind of been into black metal. Like I was huge into Rotting Christ and stuff. And a couple of years ago, I was going with my buddy Nathan to a Rotting Christ show, and the opener was this band I've never heard about. They're called Garia. They're from Portugal. They're a black metal band. To this day, one of my top 3 favorite bands. But I went in there, and these guys are just fucking. It's a very small menu. It's a very small venue, so it's a very personal show. And these guys, they got the black hood on, and I'm watching the way vocalist is like moving around the stage, and like he's not just singing. You don't just hear the emotion in his voice, but his body is like translating it. I mean, this dude looks like a fucking snake just walking around on stage, and like with the melodic music playing in the background, it was just this insane like light show that I was not expecting at all. And because like my whole interpretation of black metal was just like some guy in a basement recording on like a shitty Nokia, and like it so this opened up kind of like a whole new pathway, but it also opened up a new route that I want to go with my vocals, because as fun as it is to just, like kill, death, destruction, like in those super low guttural stuff, I feel like that could get boring, especially if it's every single song, every single album. There's places for it, absolutely. But I don't know. I see the fucking insane stuff Will and Thomas are doing instrumentally, and I feel like there should be no reason why I shouldn't be able to do that vocally as well. So definitely Gabriel, and also Darius Tarani from Spite. I don't know if you guys fuck with Spite at all, but every time I see them perform live or even just listen to them, it's like something just ticks in my brain. I turn into a caveman. If I'm working out and I can't do this deadlift, I just throw on some Spite. And I'm like, I need to kill everything. And that. Yeah. And that's once again, that's also the energy that they emit once they're live, and for me personally, like I will hear a band and I could even like the band, but they're kind of one of those bands that just pop up on my playlist and I'm like, oh, I forgot I had these guys. And I could do that for years, but then I see them live for the first time and I see how insane they are, how much, just bravado they have in their performance. That can completely alter my entire opinion on the band. And now every single time I listen to them after that, it's much more significant. And so obviously that starts at home, though. I want to find a way to emit that emotion with Will and Thomas's music and just kind of bring it all together, kind of give people the same experience that I got when I saw these bands perform for the first time. So as far as inspiration goes, I definitely say those Gabriel and Spite, top tier right now. But got to give props to Slipknot though, because they were the OGs.
Yeah, baby.
Especially way back in the day when you think of the '99 and 2001 album. So.
Iowa, dude.
Iowa, dude. Iowa, bro. Yeah.
To this day, blast that. One of the best of all time, I think.
Yep.
As they definitely are darkest, and they're not able to mimic that anymore afterwards.
Oh yeah, that's why. Like I can't say like I'm as much as a fan as I used to be. Like even like the other bands like Slaughter to Prevail and stuff like that. I feel like once a band reaches that sort of level of popularity, they kind of lose that edge a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and this isn't all bands by any means, but there are some that just they don't have that same passion they did, you know, before they blew up or before they got famous. And I don't know if that's just a product of fame. I don't know if that's just the elitist in me that's just like, oh, well, now if everybody likes it, I don't fucking want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just, I don't know. And that's something I'm trying to figure out as well, you know. But I got to give credit where credit is. It doesn't matter if I'm not a fan of the bands now. If I liked them back in the day, they obviously inspired me to be where I'm at now. Because, you know, I'm sure with everybody else, like, no one just jumps right into listening to Cannibal Corpse, you know, or at least I didn't. You know, there's like a stepping stone, at least for me there was, especially if you're in like I don't want to say like a religious household, but like a super strict household.
Mm.
You know, you can only get away with so much. And so, but yeah, that's to answer your question, those were my top guys.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'll agree with you that I was the darkest out, but I will say Scissors from Slipknot was probably the scariest one.
Oh yeah.
I agree. That's a stepped on album.
It is, yeah. So, all right, all great choices right there too. So, Tom, here, jump into this one right here, I guess. So, what sort of gear do you use, and then we'll go around the board here.
Oh man, so right now for like my recording gear, I use the Epsilon amp sim by Aurora DSP. So that's how I get all my tones kind of digitally just for like the recording stuff. But right now my live gear, I use an Ampeg PF500, tiny little guy. I got like an overdrive pedal, compressor, noise gate, tuner, wireless guitar setup. But my sweet baby relic is my Jackson 5-string CBXV NT Alphabet whatever model guitar. It's a beautiful Jackson 5-string. It kind of has like an old retro look to it, and it's just it's so sexy, and it plays so slick, man. Like it is just such a comfy guitar to play on. I use it for my guitar or my bass covers. Been using it for Bleak Barrow, and it's just perfect, bro. Other than that, man, like that's pretty much my main rig. I love like really weird speaker cabinets for bass. Like one time when we were jamming, we were at this old space, and this guy was like, hey, he walked up to Justin first and was like, hey man, do you want to buy a bass cab for $200? He was like, hold on, let me go ask my bass player. He comes in, he's like, dude, do you want to buy this huge bass cab off this guy for $200? And I was like, how big is it? And I was like, all right, show me. So we meet this guy, super nice, and he shows me this old Randall, like 218 like speaker cabinet, and it's just it's like a fridge, dude. Like if you like cut the fridge in half and put that extra space on the side, it's like this insanely big speaker. And so I have that sitting right in my kitchen right now. But yeah, dude, it sounds good. It sounds heavy. It sounds how a bass I think should sound. Has a lot of foundation, a lot of rattle, a lot of fuzz on it, and hopefully, people are gonna like what they hear when we get out to playing live, because I put in a lot of effort and I give it a lot of time, and I'll make sure everything sounds good with Will. And yeah, dude, it's awesome. And my Jackson is just sexy, bro. It's just, it's a hot piece of ass that I'm just like, and it's big too. So like, and I'm a big guy. So like having this big old like sword looking thing, just like, it's so sick, man.
Do you play with your fingers, or do you also play with a pick too?
I mostly play with the pick just because like I'm not as well versed. There's a bass player I really love. He used to play in Scale Summit. His name's Mark Michaud. I like stare at this guy and like his ability to just like flow across everything. And I have his technique book that I've been trying to work on. But there's just like, it doesn't provide that like, that crazy heavy shit that like when you hear live, you're like, oh yeah, dude, like yes. And so I play with a pick because it really drives that force, and it gives me that attack on the strings, and it just does the job.
That's pretty cool. I guess. Do you guys do all the recordings like DIY, or do you have like a studio in around Houston you go to?
DIY all the way for now, dude. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
I was like, what's our DAW do you use? I guess, Will, are you the music producer here?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. So the demos, dude, I shit you not, are done on GarageBand, bro. Literally GarageBand. And just to, we have the gear elitists out there and all that, dude. I don't give a fuck what you use, man. It doesn't fucking matter what you use. Seriously, like I can't stand all the talking heads and everything. It's like it completely goes against what everything that music and metal should be, and I'm probably making it sound like way bigger of a deal than it is, but Inviscerate was recorded and done on GarageBand, and then I was just able to mix and master it from there with some gear that I bought. So yeah, it's for now the demos are just straight up GarageBand. Whatever we can get in and get out as quick as possible. We're lucky enough to have enough gear now that sounds good enough to get the point across, So you'd be surprised with how far you can go with DIY and stuff. I guess starting out as a band, so.
You guys don't have a drummer yet, do you? Do you use drums from the software you use?
For now, getting demos out, yeah. And we all kind of chip in on stuff if we're coming up with an idea and everything. So yeah, like I said, it's very, very DIY for now to get the ideas out. So just making do with what we got,
Right. I guess I don't know if you and Justin wanted to share the gear to use. I'm just assuming Justin's just the vocal cords and one microphone.
Yeah.
And Dio's important to the sound, bro.
Yeah.
Not one, but two microphones.
Yeah. So for recording, I just use the tried and true Shure SM7B, and then for live shows, which still in the future, but I have a secondary, which is it's either the Shure SA or SM. I can't remember the number. I think it's called the SA58. But I would like to get one of them Bluetooth microphones at some point. I think those are pretty badass. But yeah, just that in my pipes. That's it.
You gotta clean the pipes every now and again, though. So
Yeah.
we have to inspect the pipe there. Actually, he's got to inspect the pipes later. So
Yeah. Well, here you go. Since I'm right here, if y'all want a little sneak peek into the Bleak Barrow sound, I was just jamming earlier. So EVH baby, custom amps, and my baby Schecter guitars all day. So if you want to know what gear I use, there's a little peek into that. So yeah, dude.
Behind the scenes action, yeah.
Behind the scenes, dude. I'm giving y'all too much, man. Nah, dude. For me, it's pretty much Schecter guitars all day. That's just out of all the hundreds of guitars I've ever played, those are just what feel the best to me. But yeah, Seymour Duncan pickups, passive. I got a custom 4x12 that I've had. Like, it was my first cab that I ever got, and I love it. It's just like so clear. So I got that. I use Randall amps. I have one. I'm working on getting some of the tubes. There's something wrong with the tubes, so I'm figuring that out with my amp tech guy that I know. But Randall amps, and I got the 5150 right now that I'm working with. So in terms of the tones that we record with and everything, I have a lot of really unique like pedals and plugins and whatnot that I can use. I'm big into the Horizon device pedals, Misha from Periphery. So I'll load those, or sometimes I have the what's the preamp, the Apex preamp from Horizon Devices, and there's some secrets to some of the Bleak Barrow tones, but I will say that there is a diesel amp involved in it. So yeah. But that's pretty much what I got going on right now, dude. Yeah.
That's pretty killer. Yeah.
Right, man.
So which one of you guys handle the social media aspect? Because I actually stumbled upon. Actually, I was seeing your logo too, and I figured, okay, it's more the legible sort of death metal ones that we see. So
that was a very big point in its making. Like, we had the guy, like, we're like, all right, just make it like a little bit more. a little bit more legible. And yeah, he helped us out, and it worked out great. I actually have been kind of forefronting the social medias and everything, and just because like I made it like a little while ago when we were jamming with like our original homie who was supposed to play drums. He was like, "No, dude, just make the Instagram, just get it out there, see if you can get some people to follow." So we were I kind of like left breadcrumbs like here and there, like, "Oh, hey, like something is happening. I know you guys haven't heard music from me in like 10 years." And then the ball got rolling, and the Bleak Barrow was very bleak on Instagram. Nothing was there. And then we finally got then we finally got the ball rolling. We started to throw out teasers of Eviscerate and like boosting and like promoting and like paying to like get it out to some more people and stuff like that. And kind of as time went on, right before the release of Eviscerate, I made the Facebook and got like invited every single one of my friends and like sent it to everybody. They did the same, and it's been pretty crazy. It's been pretty interesting watching like Eviscerate in its full form. And now I have my friends like texting me being like, "Dude, I have this on repeat like all day. Like this song is the shit." I have my friends calling me and talking to me. They're like, "Dude, like where did this come from?" It's like, play Bloodborne for like 5 days straight, like do this, and then that's how you write a riff like that, But yeah. So far, it's just been me and just us trying to translate the best way to present ourselves and present the band now that we're very fresh, and we're trying to like kind of set the base kind of idea of Bleak Barrow into people's heads and stuff. So it's been a pretty crazy little past couple weeks, but it's going exceedingly well in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know much about Bloodborne here, but I'm actually amazed you have not created a song where the cleric beast jumps over the wall. It's like, surprise, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, that awful sound it makes. Hell yeah. I'm all for sound bits. Actually, before we actually started doing all this and like making these songs like actually serious, I would record like funny lines like how grindcore used to do back in the day. Like of like random little pieces of shit I found funny. And Eviscerate used to be called Dead But Delicious as a reference to What We Do in the Shadows, and it actually had a What We Do in the Shadows quote from Vladislav the Poker from the movie of What We Do in the Shadows. It was like that for the longest fucking time. And then they were like, "Okay, we should take that out and change the name." And then that's how Eviscerate came out.
We don't need no legal action on our ass right now.
Yeah, I do not have time for that shit. Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was Dead But Delicious for the longest time. It was pretty fun. But yeah.
Just to fill you in with this question here, and then Will and Justin, you can kind of throw in your 2 cents if you want. But I guess, what do you make of social media and even artificial intelligence these days? I don't know if you use any AI for the artwork or anything like that.
I just got the new iPhone, and so it helps me like send text messages of like grocery lists and stuff to my girl, and I'll send these guys like funny things, or I'll respond. I don't know. AI is absolutely insane. I don't like how it's used in metal, and I don't like how like somebody can like go on there and be like, "Write me a metalcore song about Dr. Pepper Farms,"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's the AI wrote a 5-minute long AI, like, unfortunately it's kind of sick. You're like, "Oh, that's heavy," like, "Wow, what the fuck?" I don't like that it's just so openly, we can do whatever the fuck we want. And it's like, I know it's like probably pretty fun, and I'm not one to judge what people use it for, but like I try to stay away from that. I try to stay away from like all the art and stuff. Like I think I used one once for like an album cover so that I knew where my files were and stuff like that. But I definitely try to stay away from AI. Social media as a whole is really fast. Like I just joined TikTok recently, and I didn't realize how like legitimately there are so many people out there. And so it's been me trying to like catch up on that side of things, and it's just me trying to like, oh shit, like, hey, I'm still social. I promise I'm cool. Like, you guys want to hang out, listen to my band? You know, it really just feels like that at this point, which is, you know, it's been really well received, but it's still just like it feels like I'm playing catch up on a lot of things, and it's just crazy. But it's really cool because it, like, now that I feel like heavy music or hardcore or like whatever it is, they're like the communities are here, you know, and like it's not really that difficult to get into them. And everybody that I've met, most of them are super fucking nice. And I love making friends with people. I love talking to people. I have like a massive friends list on Facebook, and I talk to random people that I talk to in like a forum or something, like all the time. So it's pretty intense, you know, like to the point where like I used to be really good at like keeping up with stuff on my phone, and now I'm like falling behind because I'm like, oh shit, you know, like, oh, I made this funny comment here and somebody liked it. You know, it's just weird stuff like that. But getting into it's definitely not as like scary or abrasive as I was like kind of worried it was going to be. There's definitely the community, and I just dig it on that sense. But AI can fuck off.
Yep.
What's our Will or Justin? You want to throw anything in there, or is Tom really cover all the bases?
Yeah, pretty much, dude. Yeah, man. I use AI like one of those apps or whatever on my phone if I'm out and about and I don't have my guitar or whatever. I love creating imagery and scenic type stuff and all that. So I'd say the only because I've always paired music with visuals as well. That's just a thing to me. I'll you know, like literally I'll see something and then I'll be able to hear like, oh, that's a cool guitar part for that or whatever. That's usually how I write a lot of my stuff. It's influenced by you know, feelings and experiences and whatnot. So in terms of AI, I literally earlier I was at the store with my girlfriend, and there was a freaking a robot rolling around taking inventory. I'm like, that thing's gonna pull out a chainsaw and start attacking our asses or whatever, dude. I'm like, holy shit, like y'all haven't seen iRobot, you know? Like, oh my gosh, dude. But yeah, I'm not a fan really. I mean,
You gotta do Will Smith, walk up and bitch slap that motherfucker.
yes, yeah, seriously, dude. Yeah, it's yeah, for real. Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's go like 3 aisles over away from that shit. I don't know if it's gonna freak out and malfunction, start murking everybody, you know, like, but yeah, man. I mean, I just use what's handy to me. The only AI anything that I even remotely have an interest in is just if I'm out and about. I have like some apps where I can, you know, put in some prompts or whatever of just something I'm thinking of, and it'll create me an image and whatnot. And all that does is just kind of initiate an idea, just because it's handy. Because I think I can speak for a lot of musicians when I say that when you're trying to get out an idea, it's like do or die. You know, that's like all that matters. You have to do it or you're going to go insane. And so to get that out somewhat quickly in some capacity can be super helpful for me. But just like what Thomas said, I'm not a fan, dude. I think it's anything that gets so inflated is bound to fail and fuck things up. You know, especially for us, it's we're losing a lot of senses of humanity and everything without going too deep into that. I'd rather have these guys, all y'all, than a fucking robot, you know? So that's where I stand on it.
I will say this about AI. I feel like it's just one of those things that it's happening whether we like it or not. It's going to progress whether we like it or not, and people are going to cling to it whether we like it or not. You know, but I don't know. I feel like that kind of gives us one more challenge to overcome. You know, which again is why metal is so attractive to me, is because I believe there's a lot of authenticity in metal that you don't necessarily get in a lot of other genres. And even, you know, when you see like a beautiful art piece, you're like, oh, that's insane. And then someone tells you it's AI, like your brain does that little thing where it's just kind of like, oh, well, okay. I mean, it's cool, but you know, it takes that away. then you look at this incredible thing that this person painted and you're like, okay, that's fucking incredible because one, it looks nice, and two, someone put the time and effort. So I feel with music, because there's definitely going to be people that will just use AI to write their entire songs, and I feel like that's something that we're going to have to combat a little bit more in the future. But I don't know. I feel like the average listener is going to be able to tell the difference between the two, and for me, that's kind of exciting because, as well as a lot of other musicians and artists, just in general, we want to keep it as authentic as possible. So as far as like, scheduling shit or like, setting things up in an organized manner, AI could be great. Obviously social media is incredible for spreading the word around, but as far as actually producing art and giving it that as Will was saying, that humanity, I don't think that's something AI is going to be able to replicate. And if it is ever one day, then we'll call Will Smith to, just that thing.
It would be nice if it was going to be that easy. So, all right, we'll see what happens. Hopefully, this gets addressed.
The robots.
Yeah.
I was going to say, hopefully, this gets addressed with this new administration coming in, but we'll see what happens. Right.
Yeah.
So the next question right here, and I think this can be kind of similar to how we answered the last question right here, but it goes into challenges that you guys face. So it looks like Justin's kind of a little bit hard since his job requires him to travel around. But I guess, Tom, you could go with this, and I guess Will and Justin can throw in your other 2 cents if you want. But what challenges do you guys face these days as musicians?
Well, it'd be fucking sick to find a drummer. That'd be fucking cool. Every rad drummer I find is, hey, what's up? It's like every drummer that's near us is like that. We're like, oh my God, like that guy would be perfect. He's in like 6-7 bands or something, And I mean, like that's just one of the mental things, But other than that, dude, like I'm a busy guy. I got my girl. I own my house. I got to take care of my house. I have a full-time job and a career that I expect to take me like to really different levels of responsibility and just ability to kind of do more or just kind of figure it out. It's just really the very vast kind of amounts of responsibility that each of us as individuals kind of hold. And Will is a guitar teacher. He works his fucking ass off. Justin is traveling for his, so it's like kind of really just that. Minus the drummer, it's like, shit. I mean, it is pretty difficult hanging out with these guys because they're both like seriously rad and hot dudes, and I'm like just this like seductive temptress of like great man boobs and shit. So that's kind of difficult, but that's on the lower scale because it's just all love over here. But yeah, that's all I really get to say.
The bro love. We should keep it the bro love. So.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, it's all love, all family here.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't know, Will or Justin, if you wanted to throw anything else out. I'm assuming Tom probably has.
I will say, obviously, with the schedules and everything and me being on the road all the time, it's fucking sucks for like finding out times to meet up, especially since a lot of times my job is very last minute. Like I'll get a phone call being like, hey, you go to fucking Montana for a month like tomorrow, and I'm just like, I guess,
Oh, so it's not in state. You have to go to other parts of the country.
Oh yeah, all over. Like I'm in Alabama right now. So, but again, what's kind of cool with my job is a lot of that free time of just driving. I could listen to tracks that we're going over. I could come up with ideas, better formatted lyrics, stuff like that. So I guess there is a plus side in that I, for whatever reason, I feel like when I'm home, I'm more busy, just with family, friends, people wanting to hang out, me having to take care of chores, working on my house, all this other stuff. But when I'm working, ironically enough, I feel like my mind kind of opens up, a little bit more free time to focus on these songs a little bit better. So I'd say that's about the only good thing that comes with being on the road all the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think I think I could just echo what the other guys are saying in terms of difficulties and whatnot, just linking schedules up and everything, it's pretty much the same old stuff. I would say just maybe one final note on all of that is without sounding super, I guess, arrogant or anything, it's never been a worry for me to make music with these dudes, just because of if only everybody could know how much, and I speak for so many musicians, but if only people could realize how much time and dedication goes into making music, especially with both of these guys. We're all we're all striving for the same thing, just on different paths, with how we create things, and when we're able to, bring a song like, Inviscerate, like the time, like, me recording those guitars that most of them were already written, and recording the solo and everything, like it was probably 15 to 20 hours of doing that to try and perfect everything just on my own, so maybe for me, the struggles and everything or anything difficult is just being my own freaking critic, dude. Always trying to set the bar up, higher on the next one. And yeah, man, it's if you really love what you're doing, just like all three of us do, there's you can have the ability to kind of throw away a lot of things that might give you some anxiety or whatever, just because you have your other dudes that feel the same as you, so you can be like, it's not that big of a deal, whatever, like we just wrote a sick song, dude. So that's kind of the reward to everything, when you get some type of finished product or even just hanging out with each other. So yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
So, boys, we've reached the questions here pretty good. So here, let's jump to some fun ones. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. So go to the same order we've been going. So Tom, Will, and then Justin here to close it out. So, Tom, what is currently your favorite food?
Oh, dude, that is tough. I had a chili dog like a couple hours ago that I was like, that was the best fucking chili dog I've had. But dude, lately it's been banh mi. Like I love banh mi. They are just such good sandwiches. And like if you go and get banh mi, usually they serve pho there. Just get a little side of pho broth on the side, dip that bitch. Oh, fire. Straight fuego. You're a happy man after that.
I just say I got his self-esteem up, so I mean, that's a good thing. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, and Will.
Dude, barbecue all day, baby.
Oh yeah, dude, barbecue.
I'm a Kansan dude, and let's just say I grew up spoiled with that shit, man. Yeah, barbecue all day, and breakfast food. Like where I come from, it's freaking meat and potato, biscuits and gravy and ribs, dude. So yeah, man, I'm lucky enough to still have a pretty legit metabolism for the amount of that type of shit that I eat, But yeah, man, barbecue all day. Yeah, biscuits and gravy, steak, freaking all the usual stuff, man. I love pasta and feeling like when I eat something that it's gonna hold me over for a day. That's kind of my philosophy with it. Not, I love Skittles and shit, but I try to stay away from that stuff, So, yeah, man, barbecue all day for me, dude. Hell yeah.
Barbecue Skittles, man. That sounds fucking good.
Uh-oh.
You taste the rainbow right now.
Oh,
That's what they call the woke rainbow. So yeah.
Uh-oh.
For me, I'd probably say probably a damn good cooked ribeye. Medium rare, just some garlic butter on there. Ooh, either that or chicken parmesan.
Oh, nice.
So that's my go-to right there. But I'm like Will. Like if I'm eating something, it's gonna get me full. I don't do this like little small meal bullshit to hold me over for the next hour. No, dude. Like once I eat, I'm good until like dinner time or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was like, man, you two are real thin for what you eat. So yeah.
Just wait, dude. One day. Just wait. You're gonna see me, and I'm gonna look completely different, and you're gonna know exactly why.
I was say, damn that barbecue, or maybe like probably be more of a movie emphasis. Be like, damn you barbecue.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, dude.
All right, but all great choices there nonetheless. Actually, I thought it was gonna be more a Tex-Mex. I don't know if it was kind of a mixture of barbecue and Mexican food or something. So
Tex-Mex too, dude. We get
Tex-Mex
down.
ribs.
Oh yeah,
I
HEB's
don't
got a
fuck with
brisket
Tex-Mex.
queso. Oh yeah,
Fuck with
we
Tex-Mex. That ain't me.
go. Yeah, dude, we go hard on some brisket queso from HEB.
Brisket queso.
Yeah, dude.
That's like every time these dudes come over for like riffs or just like we call our hangs like this sausage fest. That's like how we refer to us hanging out. There's usually some form of brisket queso or like I usually like if they ever come over to my house, I'll cook and like make sure everybody eats and stuff. And yeah, dude, brisket queso is the shit. It is so fun.
Yeah.
I actually was in Austin not too long ago there too. So like I wish I had a little bit more chance to try out the Tex-Mex. So I was actually there for a wedding. So got to see some of the music scene there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Go to Terry Black's Barbecue next time you're down there. That place is fucking phenomenal.
I was near the Hotel Van Zant, I guess. Was that nearby it, or which part of Austin would be it?
I have no idea. I know it's like near downtown, kind of near the little river, but it's so good. It's worth waiting in line for. Best ribs I've ever had.
All right, I'll hold you to it. I'll have to see if I get to get back down there at some point. So, Tom, here for the next one. What would you say is your favorite movie? And if you have a favorite TV series, go ahead.
Oh, fuck. My favorite movie? Stargate. I love Stargate. I can watch Stargate fucking over and over again for days. My fucking fiance hates it, dude. We'll go to bed and like she's like, "Oh, what are you putting on?" She like looks over or she hears like the overture coming in. She's like, "I'm going to bed." I'm like, "Oh, okay. I love you." And I'll like just like sit there with my dog right here, just like watching Stargate. My favorite TV show, dude, that was hard. Like definitely probably like Battlestar Galactica, like the 2004 like revisit, or like What We Do in the Shadows. I love that shit. I just checked out Monarch: Legacy of Monsters on Apple TV. So sick, man. Big Scary Godzilla. Oh, so sick, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, those have been some of my recents. But yeah, Battlestar Galactica is like top tier for me. I love Lost too. Lost was good.
For a while until they screwed up probably near the end.
And then they fucked it up. Yeah. That's like,
the worst part
okay, I'm really lost right here. Who is what and what is happening? I also like Grey's Anatomy, though. That's a pretty good show. My fiance got me into that recently, and I was like, holy shit, I am worried about these people. And like, oh my God, he is a dick to her. You know, like, it's all these funny things.
Like Days of Our Lives played out in a hospital setting. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. It makes me want to go back to Seattle like super bad. Like I see the rain and I'm like, oh, dude, that looks so sick, you know? Yeah.
That's deep. So, all right. Will?
Man. That's a hard one, dude. I guess it kind of fluctuates, man. You know, like I have the usual suspects, you know, Star Wars, OG Star Wars, good Star Wars, sorry. Lord of the Rings, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, the first 3 X-Men movies. I guess if I had to pick a favorite right now, dude, freaking Terrifier 3, man. I'm a huge fan of Art the Clown and the slasher films, you know, Michael Myers and all that stuff. I just, for whatever reason, I've always enjoyed those just because of the silliness to what people create, you know, of what really goes on in people's heads, you know, and then you get a movie like Terrifier 3 to where, you know, there's a chainsaw getting rammed up a dude's ass. It's like somebody's just sitting around thinking about that, you know? Yeah, man, like, for now, I guess favorite movie. I mean, I thought it was sick. There's like a nice cozy vibe going on Christmas time and all that, you know. But I thought World War Z was great. I love those like epic, you know, the whole world, you know, is affected by the shit going on, you know, type movies. And I think if I had to pick one, it's not really a movie, but the Band of Brothers series. That's probably the greatest piece of cinema, anything I've ever seen, just because it was, you know, I've always been in love with World War II stuff, you know, like since I was literally a kid. So yeah, Band of Brothers. I'm huge into UFC. I'm big into martial arts and stuff, you know. So yeah, if y'all haven't seen Band of Brothers, dude, please, it's fucking phenomenal. It's so good. And I actually have a yeah, dude. Well, I bought it on eBay. It's about this big. I have a signed card from Wild Bill. I believe it's pronounced Garnieri, but Garnier from Band of Brothers. But it was a year or two before he passed away. I guess he was in. I think he was in some type of nursing home or whatever before he passed away, because there's a card on there that had like a nurse's name on it that was with it, and it was just a handwritten note to somebody. I found it on eBay for like $70. It was just a dude who collects, you know, World War II stuff and all. And I was like, dude, like I have to have this, man. Like I try to collect stuff like that. But yeah, man, Band of Brothers, 100%, never gets old. I actually did like a guitar, fingerstyle guitar cover of the theme song years and years ago. So if I can find that, I'll show y'all. Yeah,
that would be cool. It's been years since I actually watched Band of Brothers, but you can really binge watch it since it's just one miniseries.
Yeah, man.
So good, dude. It is so good.
So good, dude. Yeah.
It holds up to this day. So yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You tend to wonder if it is people who like listen to a whole lot of metal who came with Terrifier franchise right there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, man.
We just live out a heavy Cannibal Corpse style franchise.
Yeah,
Which is what we call that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's a good pairing for the disgusting extreme music that we like, you know.
Actually, they're gonna make a little cover of Butchered at Birth.
Oh yeah,
of course, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, classic, man.
Right. And Justin?
All right. So when I think of like in terms of entertainment, just overall structure of a movie, my number one is always going to be Forrest Gump. But that's also just because like I love history, particularly the 20th century, and so you know that movie's just all centered around that. So I'm all for that. As far as favorite shows go, I want to say probably Breaking Bad. And the only reason why I'm choosing Breaking Bad is because my second option is Andor, and there's only been one fucking season of that, and they're taking forever. But I'm really hoping the next season of that. I want Andor to be my new favorite show, but right now just Forrest Gump favorite movie and Breaking Bad favorite show right now.
Nice.
All right, those are excellent choices there. Going back to Will, I thought you were going to turn into like Lemmy when he was collecting the Nazi memorabilia, and also with Jeff Hanneman too. They both were collecting Nazi memorabilia.
Yeah, man. That's dude.
Cool.
I collect as much of that stuff as I can. That's when it comes to the seemingly never-ending provocative subject of the Nazis and all that stuff, man. For me, it's just and not to get all deep, but to just think and realize that something like that happened in a weird way is just a reminder of like, man, just like be good to people, you know, like it doesn't matter. You hear all these cliche phrases, you know, just be good to people, but like seriously, like don't be a dick, man. Everybody's going through shit, you know. Just be friends with somebody, you know. And also, oh yeah,
he was getting some of the feedback. It was kind of cutting you off right there.
Oh no worries, dude. But yeah, man, Lemmy had a collection. Lemmy had a collection, bro. I wonder where a lot of that went, man. I wonder who scooped that up or anything. That dude was sitting on a gold mine of artifacts and collectibles, man.
I'm gonna say I went to his estate, or I don't know if he had any kids, or let alone married. He was probably like the Keith Richards of his time. So
he does have one kid that I definitely. I saw a documentary that talked about Lemmy. I'm also a huge Motorhead fan. I have a huge Motorhead, like the Snaggletooth logo, all down my shin. Like I couldn't be a bass player without loving Lemmy. He does have one kid. His kid's name's Paul or something. And he's around, man. It probably went to him or something.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like Will said, it's like he said on Gold Mine. So
Yeah.
He had a lot, dude. It was a lot. Like,
Yeah.
it was a ton.
Yeah.
I had to get it out there because unfortunately Will was kind of getting cut off because the echo was coming through on Justin's mic. So it's all good now. So sorry.
No worries.
Tom here for the next one. I don't know if you guys do drink, but if you do, what's your favorite alcoholic drinks? And then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drinks?
Oh, bro, I think I speak for all of us. If a Coors Light sees us coming, that thing is shaking in its fucking boots, man. Like, I grew up in Colorado, and it's funny, I didn't like Coors Light. I was like, bah, whatever, PBR is the shit, blah. And I left, and I got sober for a while, but when I started drinking again, I was like, fuck, dude, I just want something like light and nice. And it was Coors Light, bro. And like Coors Light is just, it's just such a, it's good, it's cold, it's refreshing. You know, when those mountains are blue, it's, you know, I don't know the saying about it, but dude, Coors Light, I love tequila. Silver tequila is the best. It's just always happy. But non-alcoholic, man, if like I'm ever going grocery shopping, there's a boba spot right next to my grocery store. I'm a boba whore. I love it. I think it's so good. And like I love the actual boba, like, and I think it tastes good. And lately it's been a pina colada smoothie with lychee jellies and boba inside. It's all hot in Texas. Brother, yeah, you are cooled off after that, man.
You know, I know you were talking about the beer earlier. I was like, shit, I should have caught myself before bringing that forward. So,
Oh, that's all good, bro.
well, actually, I have interviewed people who were either rage alcoholics or had drank pretty good in the past, and they became sober afterwards. So,
Oh yeah.
It's good.
Oh, dude, yeah,
quite a check first.
Oh yeah, no, dude, we're all good. Yeah, I definitely was sober for a while, but like coming back into stuff, just like Coors Light was like started here, but now it's like, oh, dude, it's like it's just always so good. The little silver bullet cans, man, or Banquet's always fire. It's just a go-to, bro.
All right, good choices. And Will?
Yeah, dude. Coors Light all day, baby. Yeah, that's my favorite beer of all time, man. I'm a huge beer guy. I just love it, man. My dad is the same way. It's just something, just the not necessarily the culture nowadays, but just the process going into it. I always appreciate learning how something is made and the quality of it, But yeah, dude, Coors all day, man. Those aluminum cans, man. You freaking toss those bitches in the freezer, dude, and yeah, that's perfect, man. Me and Thomas and now Justin as well have downed a vast number of Coors together. But yeah, dude, that's and then aside from more mainstream beers and stuff, I can actually give a little plug to Boulevard Brewery out of Kansas, where I'm from. The best beer, aside from Coors and everything, the best beer I've ever had is the Boulevard Tank 7. Y'all can get it in stores. They sell it down here. I think it's the net has been cast wide enough that I've found it in California. It's in Texas. I've even found it in Maine, dude. So Boulevard Tank 7, it's not super heavy, but it's just like mega full, and it's like 9%. So if you just have two of those, then you're set for an evening, But yeah, I guess like in terms of non-alcoholic, man, I just drink water as much as I can. I'm a freaking redneck at heart, dude. So I love my freaking Mountain Dew, Baja Blast all day, dude. But yeah, man, I keep myself as straight as I can with the drinking. So yeah, I like beer. I'm kind of cursed, I can, for example, we're talking about 2020 where things were kind of screwed up, or they were really screwed up, and I had to finish, a lot of my college online at my parents' house. So there's a liquor store about 10, minutes down the road, and I would just keep the mini fridge full, dude, and I'd be sitting on this same computer right here. Freaking, my dad would come home and cut me off of my own beer supply because there's fucking 9 Coors cans by my computer and all that, So, but Yeah, man. No, I would say it's just with the drinking and stuff. It's if it is a problem for people, try to start out seeing it as like some type of reward, even just on the weekend or whatever, because then you can kind of curb yourself a little bit. Because people like me, it's very easy to go pretty legit crazy with it, because I love it. But it's all good, man. Yeah.
So instead of amount of corpses, there's amount of empty Coors Light cans.
yeah. The average Bleak Barrow get together is going to involve a tomb of Coors cans, dude.
Something like that. All right. And Justin?
No, I'm again Coors Gang through and through, baby. But I'm definitely, my go-to is just a Coors Banquet, a good old-fashioned yellow belly on a hot summer day, even on a cold winter day, any time of the day. You can't top that. Moving into liquor, probably Jameson whiskey. That's probably my go-to favorite. Non-alcoholic water. And then maybe a zero sugar cherry Coke. I'd say that's probably my favorite. But yeah, I'm a creature of habit, man. Once I find something, I'm loyal to that thing until I die. So it takes a lot for me to kind of move out, especially when it comes to like food and drinks. But I don't know. You tried Jägermeister last time we hung out together. And I had alcohol poisoning on Jägermeister years ago, but Thomas was very convincing, and a couple shots, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as I remember. So I don't know. I'm still trying to stay clear of that, though. But that's all I got from me.
Yeah, I take back tequila. Jägermeister. I have a Jägermeister tattoo, like right
Yeah,
here.
baby.
Yeah. It's like the silliest tattoo that I got when I was like 17, but yeah, Jägermeister. It's definitely because I've been listening to Black Dahlia Murder since I was like a pube.
So the moral of the story is drink responsibly and stay tuned.
Yes.
Tom.
And don't drink and drive. That shit gets people killed.
Yeah, don't do that.
That too. All right. A nice tattoo nonetheless right there too. Actually, I wonder if they still have that TV show where people who get like fucked up tattoos can go to this one tattoo parlor either in Vegas or LA, and they'll
Bad ink.
Do it over. They do the new artwork over top of the bad tattoo. So.
Oh, dude, that's not even the tattoo. I would get covered up. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. I won't even bring up that tattoo, but it's definitely in a special place. I'll say that.
All right. I don't think I went down any further because I think we're going to regret it afterwards.
I love it. It is full of good stories, and like there's a picture of it. Okay, it's on my ass. I'll just tell you what it is. So about 10-ish years ago, right before one of my really great friends passed away, I got drunk and I let 7 of my friends tattoo their names on my ass, and not even like a black ink. It's purple ink, and dude, it's just like haggard. And I wouldn't cover it up, but I would probably like at least make it look nice. But kind of the haggardness adds kind of like that feel to it, because everybody did do their own names on my ass. But like I'll be bent over, like working on a car or something like that, doing something like that, and somebody will be like, "Why does your ass say Ari?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's my friend Ari. Yeah, he signed my ass." It's pretty silly.
There's always something. So
always, dude, always something.
All right. And sorry for your loss right there too. So at least it's one way to remember him by, even though I don't think he would want to kiss your ass afterwards, though.
Dude. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
All right. And lots of phone questions now. This is going to be tricky, so you can only pick one. And what is currently your favorite song? Tom.
Oh man, that one's pretty difficult. I'm gonna say 2 because they kind of just like go hand in hand. Like sometimes I get stressed and I drive a lot, just like from my house to work, and I drive around Houston a lot. But Caledonia by Robin Trower, that song is just ultimate, and it's so much fun. And then the other, like if I'm ever sad, is called Europapa by a dude called Youth Klein. He's a European DJ that was supposed to perform in Eurovision last year. Me and Will are somehow into Eurovision, and we're like super about it.
Yeah.
And it's just the sickest song, and it's such a vibe, and it's tons of fun to listen to. It brings your spirit up, and yeah, dude, Europapa and Caledonia.
I was gonna say I finally just said something pretty inappropriate right there. So.
Oh yeah, dude, no, it's wild. Yeah, like aside from all the death metal, I cannot stop listening to those songs just to like, you know, like get through my day and just enjoy it and smile and shit. It's pretty fun.
That's something to do with these interviews every day. So, all right. Well,
Yeah. Oh man, that probably is the hardest question I could think of, dude. Oh man, yeah. I would say, I mean, my favorite song right now is a complete dead tie between Azalea from Blackberry Smoke and Eubelia. It's that Eubelia is a song from the new Devin Townsend album, and not too often do I have nowadays, just with being busy working on our own music and stuff. Not too often do I have songs that are basically like a nuclear bomb of, you know, all the things that you want in a favorite song. But that's a really special one. So for now, it's one of those. I guess if I had to pick like an all-time, that's hard, dude. I should have thought about that before. Maybe Cherub Rock, Smashing Pumpkins. Just for memories, you know, being a young kid and whatnot. My favorite songs are always based on usually like family experiences and stuff, you know, because I'm cool with people, you know, making friends and acquaintances and whatnot, but like my number one is my family always, and I know a lot of people will echo that, but my family's super tight. We talk every day. So maybe an old, you know, David Allan Coe song or Merle Haggard or something like that. I grew up on old school outlaw country and a lot of that. So I don't know, man. That's a hard one, dude. That's such a hard one because there's so many, you know. But I think all time favorite song would either be you'd have to kill me basically, but probably Cherub Rock, Limelight by Rush, or Blink of an Eye by Damage Plan. That one, not a lot of people probably know, but that's a good one too. So might just have to shoot me, dude. I got too many of them, you know.
so it's like you died.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, the "you died" shows up on the screen. Yeah.
Just you died.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So they're rubbing it in your face. So.
Yeah, right.
Then again, you would name a Damage Plan since it is Dime. So
yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good album, dude. People sleep on that. That's some if you want some real heavy shit, dude, just freaking toss on a Damage Plan album, man. It's real as hell, dude. It's good stuff. I was jamming it earlier, man.
yeah, that's why you know he came prepared. So yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And Justin, close it out.
Yeah, I guess the benefits of being last is I get a little bit longer to think. Unfortunately, it did nothing for me. I still, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to give two of my favorite songs instead of just one. So I would say my first favorite song is probably going to be Arson by Garia off their Mirage album, which in my opinion, one of the best albums of all time. And the reason why that is that it just has this intro. And I don't know why I'll just be thinking about this intro throughout the day. It's just super, it's beautiful, it's mysterious at the beginning, and then it's just this whirlwind. It's just, you're caught in this fucking tornado, and it's just like, oh shit, you know, and that's the only song I could think about that I've just listened to consecutively for the past 2 years. And then a close number two would probably be Descent by Three Eyes of the Void. Another great band if you guys haven't heard of them, but they got, and I know Thomas is probably sick of me saying this, but they just had this saxophone solo, in the middle of this black metal song that it just comes out of complete left field. You know, 1 second it's blast beats, the next you're a 1940s detective trying to find out a murder, you know, and it's just like, it just completely captures you off guard. But that goes back to what I was saying about those different just shifts in music, that what I love so much is how 1 second it could be a violent tornado and then the next something beautiful. And I'd say short answer, those are probably my top 2 favorite songs right now.
Actually, it was more like how Wildfire from Periphery was, where they started throwing in a saxophone solo during the middle part of that song too. So yeah,
dude, Rivers of Nile too, man.
that too. Yeah,
Right.
there
I was just about to say them as well.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, another great example.
Yeah.
Saxophone's bringing a comeback, and
Yeah.
I like it. I like what I'm hearing. You know.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, Clarence Clemens from
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen. So,
Yeah, dude.
that'll do. He lives. So yeah,
Yeah, right.
all right, that's good. And all great choices there, nonetheless, here too.
Oh yeah.
So, boys, we're down to one more question on my podcast right here. But I guess before we jump into it, would you guys like to ask me a question? Since we got 3 on here, it's probably best to. If you guys got one question, you can ask me anything. So,
What's your favorite song? Now you get the hard question.
all right, question.
We're going right to it.
Well, since I am a drummer, I also do drum covers there too. So the thing is, I gotta like memorize the song. So I've actually been on a little bit of a Death Angel run recently.
Nice.
So
Okay.
Thrash.
yeah, a little bit of
yeah.
thrash ditch. So
Yeah.
Man. Damn, he answered that shit quick. I was kind of hoping you'd take a little bit longer.
a close number 2 would actually be Answer the Sky from Between the Buried and Me.
Hell yeah.
Shit, okay.
Damn.
Frog.
Oh, yeah, man.
I'd say the most prog metal you'll ever get, to be honest. So
Yeah.
and actually, I really dug Niles' Inner Dark Shrines. I was trying to remember the album right there too. But Inner Dark Shrines, I've always loved like the last 4 songs, which each kind of tell their own little separate story.
Yeah.
So it's like Halls of Sauradian and Two Men all the way up to Ruins. So I love the last 4 songs of that album.
Sweet. Dude, I'm a huge Nile fan, dude. That's a good pick, dude. Nice. Yeah. I got the pre-order of The Underworld Awaits Us All, the latest Nile album, which I freaking love. Dude, I have the sickest hoodie. Dude, it's got freaking Anubis all over the back and all these symbols down the arm and shit for the underworld and all that, you know. Yeah. Nice. That's good shit, man. Dude, I was just gonna ask, like, what are some of your favorite bands that are like maybe not metal or something? If you know, because I don't really like. I'm the least metal guy in the band. I love it, you know. But I always love like people talk about local bands or real eclectic shit. You know, is there anything like that you're into? You think?
Well, back then in the day, it used to be Three Doors Down and a little bit of Bruce Springsteen.
Nice.
I really dug Van Halen way back in the day. I think Van Halen was a religion for me.
Yes.
So
Hell yeah.
I'll do those ones. It was actually, I always say 6, but I always forget some of the names. But there's Three Doors Down, Van Halen. There's actually a punk band called Bush. That's the band that does Machine Head that you normally hear at like some sports venues.
Yeah.
So Three Doors Down. Vertical Horizon. And I'm just going to leave it at those 4. I know I have said 6 in the past, but the names always escape me for some reason.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Hell yeah, man. That's badass.
Also, I know you mentioned Nile, and I actually interviewed Dallas Toller Wade a while back.
Sick. Yeah.
That's so sick.
Narcotic Wasteland, dude. They freaking rip, bro.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Hell yes. Yeah, we love Dallas, man. He's the shit, bro.
You know, I was a little bummed because I actually tried to do a little short. He just got introducing himself, but unfortunately, it didn't get very many views. So,
Oh, yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a shame. I thought that would work, but
Yeah. He's still out there doing it as far as I know. I think I follow him on social media and stuff, and it seems like he's still active and everything, man. So, yeah. That was the Nile that I was introduced to, obviously, was with him and Carl and George, obviously. So, as far as I know, Dallas is still out there. I think he's touring a little bit, too. I saw somebody the other day with a Narcotic Wasteland shirt. I was like, no shit, dude. Like, like a tour shirt, too. So, that's badass, man.
I say now I'm on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. So,
Word, dude.
Right.
I'll do that.
And Tom, if you wanted to throw anything.
Yeah, dude, how did you start this whole thing up? Like, what made you want to start doing podcasts and like interviewing artists and such?
Well, it actually started during COVID, and initially when I was doing my YouTube channel, I started to just doing drum covers, and actually the very first song was Bolt Throwers, No Guts, No Glory. So
Yeah,
I should still throw it out. That one's still actually kicking ass. But
yeah, dude.
I realize you're in a saturated market with everybody doing drum covers, so I figured, I've been looking at podcasting for a while, and you stumble across like the real big ones like Joe Rogan and all those
Yeah.
other guys. So at first I was trying to study. I'm like, okay, what are these guys doing? And then it felt like it was just like a conversation between people who were just talking about random shit or maybe some beauty products and that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. So I feel like, I could do that, and I really love music, so let's try to bring a drummer on. I actually brought a friend of mine on from college who's tearing it up in Nashville now, and that was my very first one back in February 2021, and
Yeah.
soon to be 4 years later.
Oh
Here we
yeah,
are with Bleak Barrow from Houston,
Yeah,
Texas.
yeah.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah. Was there any other questions? So,
I'm set, man.
I'm good, man. That's fucking sick. That's cool.
That's
That's
tight.
hella fucking cool. Yeah, fuck yeah, dude. We appreciate you having the time to like have us on and hang out with us. This is really cool.
so we made a movie out of this one here, where I was approaching like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude. We're hanging bros. It's a
Hell
song
yeah,
test,
man.
dude.
I'm a deep individual.
Yeah.
We get existential now.
You get metaphysical, dude. Yeah.
I say we should go take that philosophy course back in Hollywood there, Will. So
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
there is such thing as a music philosophy, so I never thought that was real.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, dude.
Okay. All right, but there's no other questions. Here's how the last question goes, and Tom, you could go first. So, given what COVID has done, I know you guys were impacted. I don't know if at some point you mentioned that you lost any family or friends, but if you did, I'm sorry to hear that. But for those musicians and people who've been impacted by COVID or anything else in their lives, like an addiction or whatever, what sort of message of hope and advice could you give to those people as they try to move forward with their lives?
You know, as a person that definitely had their own issues with alcoholism and drug use, I always kind of try to think back to this funny thing my mom said. She said, once you're a pickle, you're never going to be a cucumber. You know what I mean? It's like after these things have affected us so deeply where our minds change, our bodies change, and, we're on the other side of this, it's hard to, find the hope. And I'm a very positive person. As pissed off and, internally struggling as I truly am, I try to not let it out. I try to find love and support and, just be as honest and sweet as I can be throughout my days. And that's truly one of the hardest things to do, is just to choose love, and like one of the things that I think we're trying to do with Bleak Barrow is, there are these things in the metal scene, there are these things in the world, and what we're trying to do with Bleak Barrow is, just give people a different side where they can go and feel free to be themselves and supportive of love, and a place where we get to choose happiness and choose excitement, choose having a good fucking time, man. And like, it's just like really the coolest shit that, a person can do if they, at the beginning of the day, you get to wake up, choose, like you get to be a person that is forthgiving, that is supportive, and, out there for the betterment of the possibilities and excitement that the day may bring you. And it's one of the hardest things to do, but I feel like every single person in the world, no matter their situation, they can choose love, they can choose happiness. There's some Jim Carrey quote that's popping up in my head from one of my darkest times. It's like, you have two choices, love or fear. Choose love and never let fear tarnish your playful heart, or something like that. And I live by that pretty much on a daily basis. This too shall pass kind of stuff. And it's a big thing for me that I want to present to people, to say like, hey, like if you are looking, you will find, and you get to choose what happens. And if you choose love and you choose happiness, choose love over fear, then yeah, dude, you're going to tear the fucking day up. You're going to play sick motherfucking riffs. you're going to have a good ass time. You know what I mean? And it's just trying to retain that positive mental attitude. And that's what I want a piece of Bleak Barrow to be. Although it is kind of spooky and scary coming up to this death metal band that has these heavy riffs and tells these stories of impalement and, you know, dying in the cosmos and how it feels to die, you know, and shit. But, you know, you take the heart and soul of that, and it's choosing love, you know, it's choosing to be here and be present and shit. I don't know, some hippie shit like that.
He's a big softy at heart. So yeah.
Oh, you know me, brother. We just met. You know me, brother.
Oh, we know how it works. So yeah. We may have to close to the camera. There we go.
Aww.
Okay. And Will?
Yeah, man. Obviously, I completely echo everything that Thomas says. I guess just with an overall message, you know, that I personally would want to bring to people. Just with things, you know, traumatic things happen and all that, to try and realize that those things are going to happen in your life. Your life's not always going to be fucking perfect, dude. You know, for me personally, you know, I never thought I was going to get a neck tattoo and be one of those guys. But, you know, while I was out in college, you know, my grandpa passed away. He was my best friend in the world, you know, and not to sound bad or anything, but nobody or no thing or anything will ever replace him. And that was, you know, when you get hit with a moment like that, that's so surreal, that you just, you know, you never thought that was going to happen. It's like you don't process it at first, and then sometimes it'll come back way later and hit you like a freaking bomb, you know. But what I've found through events like that, and I've had you know, I'm no different than anybody else, dude. You know, I've had a bunch of terrible shit happen, and but what I've found through all of that is, you know, there's two perspectives for that. If you're somebody who has a support group or family or friends or anything, embrace that even harder. And dude, just freaking be honest with them. Just talk to them. You know, like if you're feeling some fucked up shit, tell them, like, you know, because they wouldn't actually give a shit about you if they would respond negatively, you know. And embrace that and realize that, again, to echo something Thomas said, just be present, you know, and that absolutely ties into any type of support system, people just being there for each other. And if you're in a situation to where you don't have that, and something happens to you, just pour all of your goodness into somebody or something. Just be kind to somebody. Just go out on a limb and, you know, hold the door for somebody or whatever. Just be good, you know, and because what that's doing is they might not show it if it's a complete stranger or whoever, but that person also has shit going on as well. So maybe you just completely made that person's day, and then you see them again, and then you become friends, and then you're starting to build your own, you know, you're starting to build your own system and everything. And then that's going to help you through those moments and everything, because you literally, as hard-headed as I am, I'm a very, very, you know, my name's Will. My parents and family make a joke that was my name for a reason, because I got an iron will. You know, I'm very, not stubborn, but I just, you know, I know who the fuck I am and what I want to do, you know, so at times that can kind of clash with other things. And I've realized that if you can just realize that you can't go through life and everything completely on your own, just branch out to people, just be good to people, because that's the connection that we all have, to be able to reach each other and to be able to help you through shit, you know, because there's, you know, everybody's got experiences and everything to where they feel they're alone and all that, you know, and I really honestly hate that there's like a cliche out of, you know, with all these phrases and whatnot nowadays. It's like there's real shit going on. Like depression is a real thing. People are fucked up, you know, and you know, with cliches of, you know, like people trying to make cliches out of, you know, live every day like it's your last. No, I mean, that shit's true, dude. You know, really, like doing this, you know, like I love this shit, man. This is awesome. Like I love like talking to like-minded people, or I try to embrace the different perspectives that human beings have. You know, I think that's a gift that we should try to rediscover, trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and understand where they're coming from, because with how unfortunately politically charged and everything is nowadays. It's like, dude, can we just just reach out to this person, just shut the fuck up with all your bullshit. And it's like, they're going through something just like you are. It's like, why don't you try to, if you would just try to make some form of connection there, you'd really be surprised with how many friends, family, people that could help build you up into whatever you want to be, and I guess just without, going too far into all this and everything, I'm completely different than like 90% of people in the metal community. Okay, because for one, I believe in God. I grew up Christian, everything. There's a horrible context around that. If y'all are Typo Negative fans, I'm a big Peter Steele fan, and he coined the term hippo-Christian, which I love. All those people that, want to beat you over the head with a Bible and all that shit, just where I come from, it's very stressful getting all this hate and persecution from people and all that, when my whole belief system is literally rooted in loving everybody and respecting everybody. And it goes past that. It doesn't matter what you believe in, man, if we can all just fucking be good to each other, just get along. So it's pretty much all I got. I know it's a lot of that, unfortunately, is, people dub as cliche and shit, but just reach out to people, man. Make the effort yourself, to be good to other people. So that's what I'd say. It doesn't matter what you believe in or anything, just as long as you're not killing people or some shit,
It's just like literally killing people.
Yeah,
metaphorically,
yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, man, that's
I think the other reason I named you Will was so that you will make a will at some point later in your life. So yeah.
Right, dude. It'll happen.
Sadly, but it's a fact. So.
Yeah, it's true, man. Hey, it's true.
All right, and Justin, I don't know if you're going to be able to beat Will at this. I think Will kind of beat you all at this. So.
Well, that was
right, bitches. Yeah.
No, he said it. He said it perfectly. I would like to I can only speak in regards towards like my own experiences, my own thoughts, my own problems and stuff like that. As Will and Thomas said, everybody has their own shit going on, and with me especially, I do this all the time. Every time I'm going through something, I look at someone who's gone through something worse, or who is going through something worse, and I'm like, all right, well, they've gone through that. Why am I bitching about this? And my brain kind of tries to trick itself into thinking that's helping, but it's actually making it worse. And it brings me back to this old saying I heard a while ago. I unfortunately don't remember where I heard it from, but it was, the worst thing that has happened to you is the worst thing that's happened to you. It doesn't matter what it is. You could live a sheltered life and, your internet goes out. Maybe it's not the same as someone on the other side of the world, getting eaten by a fucking tiger or something, but it's still shitty. And I think instead of trying to minimize our problems and just kind of push them aside, I think it's important to realize, like, hey, this is something that bothered me. Why did it bother me? How can I learn from this? And there were so many times in my life where I was just at the end of a bottle, just kind of like just in my own head, just thinking like there's no fucking way, like this is going to be my life forever. I'm going to be a sad, miserable piece of shit forever, and then fast forward a couple months, I don't even remember why I was upset, and that's not to say that my problems are going to stop. That's not to say I'm never going to be in that position again, maybe not to that extent, but it definitely helps adapt and prepare me for the next bad thing, because after every hole I pulled myself out of, I've learned something new about myself, because I've taken that time to realize, hey, I'm fucking sad, I'm miserable right now. This is not a life I want to live. Like there has to be a change. And life's beautiful. I mean, there's so many insane things that you miss if you don't pay attention to it. There's so many reasons just to get up, even if you don't know what that reason is. Right now, I got no idea what next year looks like. I have no fucking clue. And I know that there's some people that try to plan to a T, which is good. It's good to plan, but life always fucks things up. you know, and when you plan something here, everything you plan down, once this is fucked up, there's a domino effect. And now everything seems so much worse. So I guess my only advice is just to be fucking present, even if where you're at right now sucks, even if where you're at you're miserable and it's just no way out. Don't focus on the future. Focus on right now. Focus on what you're learning. Focus on what needs to change. What would make you happy that you can work on? Because it's easy to say, well, money would make me happy. Well, money takes a long fucking time. You know what makes me happy? A fucking Coors banquet. You know, which I'm not saying go to alcohol if you're feeling down, but you know, just give yourself little victories, give yourself little things that help you get to that next level that you need to get to move on. And remember that life ain't all shit sometimes. You know, sometimes you meet some cool people, you make some awesome music, and you're doing a podcast. You know, I never thought I would be doing this last year, you know, much less a couple months ago. So there's always a great mystery just on tomorrow that anybody can discover, but you got to make it through tomorrow. That's all I got to say.
I was gonna say, it's almost like the tally instead of like the little weed. It sounds more like can be like, I'm gonna reward myself. Be like, you shut it. So yeah,
There you go.
I mean, it's a lot of those lines, but you can say what. Right. And spoke like a bunch of true prodigies. So, right.
Word, man.
Yeah,
Word.
boys, we're going to podcast here, right here. We're just a little shy of 2 hours and 30 minutes. But you guys got any final words? Want to give any shouts to anybody?
Eviscerate out now. Check out the new single. We love you guys. We appreciate it. We can't wait to show you guys our fucking new shit.
Yeah, man. Yeah, go follow the shit, the usual, you know, Bleak Barrow, Texas, social medias, all that. Without revealing too much, don't worry, we don't only have one song. There's plenty more coming. we're in the tracking phase right now, so we're finalizing some stuff. So yeah, please go check that out. We're really wanting to bring all this stuff to everybody as usual. There's a lot of really special shit going on, and we're definitely in for building as positive and wholesome of a community with people as we can. Not just writing killer music, but trying to be a constant for all walks of life, you know, because that's what it's all about, man. Giving people a sixth sense, if you will, of something special, a safe space, or however you want to put it. So yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
A sixth sense, or more sick, actually. The SSC, not six.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, bro.
And Tom, can you just list what social media and streaming platforms you guys are on so I can check out your music and hit you guys up?
Yeah, we're out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. We're on TikTok, Instagram. I believe we're on Pandora. We're on iTunes as well. And our Bandcamp is bleakbarrow.bandcamp.com. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. There's a lot of them that got made really fast, and I was like, oh. So yeah, it's on all major streaming platforms. And if you need to find our Instagram, you'll find our new cards. Our new promos are heading out there. It'll give you all the information. That's Instagram.com/BleakBarrowTX.
All right. You heard from these boys right here too. So, all right. Everyone, my guest today was Tom, Will, and Justin. They're part of the band Bleak Barrow, hailing from the lovely state of Texas, even though we got Justin on the other side of Alabama there. Close to Greenbow, Alabama, maybe. So,
yeah, that's what he's doing there. He's going to the old Forrest Gump flats.
Fuck yeah, baby. I'm trying to find Jenny. I don't want this damn kid.
I don't know. I think she already infected you with the AIDS. So I think you're in trouble now, mate. So.
Nice.
Forgot about the AIDS.
Oh, that fucking AIDS. Okay. Anyway, so part of the band Bleak Barrow, hailing from the lovely state of Texas. Go hit up on those streaming platforms. And these guys are just starting out here too, so they're just young and they're just getting their hands dirty. So I can't wait to see what you guys got next. And also, hit up on all the socials as well here too. So everyone, wish you all the best going forward, mate. So you stay safe and God bless. Rock on. Everyone, give me a pose. Stay tuned, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.
Good night.